Hello, everyone, and welcome to ESL Challenger League Season 47. We are we're partway through the playoffs, in fact, working out where everyone's going to be seated off as we head into the conference a little bit later on. I'm Nari Mizuki, or Sam. I'm going to be with your casters, and I'm joined by Grimmy Rana. How are you doing this evening?
I'm doing fabulous. I'm doing really well, to be honest. And I think we've had some already, some very exciting games in this tournament, like not even within the playoff bracket. And I think now when we look at these teams, we've got the likes of Sangal, RUSHB, who are still in it over the Parry Visions, the Saws, the Monties. So we've got some upsets coming, and we'll be seeing who goes to the Pro League. However, Sam, how you doing? Back from Sweden, doing well? Have you rested up?
Yeah, barely. Just managed to get that little bit of rest before jumping straight back in. The ESL Impact League wrapped up over the weekend, along with, of course, IAM Dallas. They happened at the same place, and it was a fantastic weekend of Counter-Strike. Honestly, I think G2 blew everyone out of the water this weekend, so really excited to see what happens with them going forward. But, of course, we'll bring it back. We're not quite at that level at the moment. We need to find out who are our teams that are going to be going up against that caliber of team at the next EPL. So let's take a look at our schedule for the day. Of course, we have 3 streams going all at the same time. So a lot of Counter-Strike action happening right at your faces. On the A stream, we have Movistar Koi versus Sinners Esports. Right here on the B stream, we'll have Aurora Gaming versus RUSHB. And over on the C stream, we have 3D Max versus Sangal Esports. Freddie, I'm going to throw you in the hot water here. How are you thinking the games today are going to go?
Well, so what I find really interesting is just the fact that Movistar and Sinners are in the upper bracket. Like for Movistar, we haven't really been seeing like a huge amount from them kind of after the major. And I think Sinners as well, like they've had some really rough run of form. They lost something like 20 series in a row at the beginning of this year. And then they removed Zedco, who, by the way, is playing amazing on Sampy right now. And then just like they're trialing players. I think Sinners still take that though. I think Aurora take our game, and I think 3D Max are probably going to end the Cinderella story of Sangal in the other lower brackets. So you can see there as well, grand finals, if you make it, you get Pro League. And from the lower bracket, a team like Sangal, who have started in this lower bracket, I think it's a best of 3 a day from Tuesday to Sunday if they want to make it, which is quite a lot.
Yeah, it's an absurd amount of Counter-Strike to be played out. But you know what? If you want to be able to play with the best teams in the world, you have to be able to work on a crazy schedule. Because as we know, next year is going to be absolutely nuts for the CS scene. But looking forward to seeing how our bracket shapes up for the rest of the tournament. As you said, we've got RUSHB versus Aurora Gaming on the on this stream over there in the lower bracket. So kind of last chance saloon for these guys to get a really good placement in this series. They don't want to drop out just yet. And well, you mentioned a Cinderella story. I feel like RUSHB has a major Cinderella story coming into this.
Yeah, this is a team that I just can't really get my head around, because at the from basically the start of the year, outside of qualifiers, this is the only other tournament they've played in apart from one of the CCT tournaments where they actually lost in the group stages. So, and like they lost to like Eyeballers, Sampy, Mazon XT. So you've got a RUSHB side who like have a pretty inexperienced team, apart from Kinky, who's obviously played in a major, but that was like 5 years ago. So he's played top 20 Counter-Strike 5 years ago. And apart from him, it's a very like new squad, a lot of unfamiliar faces. But then you look at them in ECL and you're like, hold on a second, they're actually like quite legitimately close to making it to Pro League. And I think it's a team even when I saw them qualify for ECL not too long ago, I think it was only 2 seasons ago, I was really surprised. And now they've gone from surprising me in qualification to surprising me to almost making it to the grand finals.
Yeah, I mean, they came up from advanced and have made it all the way here to our playoffs, so they've done incredibly well. But as you can see by our predictions down below, we do have a clear favorite in this matchup. Of course, Aurora Gaming, been around the scene for so long, played at some of the highest levels, so really looking to potentially stamp that up. Freddie, why don't you tell us a little bit more about Aurora and why they're more than likely to walk away with the win here?
I'm not gonna lie, I freaking love Aurora. I had a really in-depth conversation with one of their ex-coaches, Inner Shine, and I think kind of the way he was sculpting it was when Aurora made that massive run last year, they didn't quite have the things in place to kind of extend that contingency. I think some of the success came a little bit too fast, but now they've stabilized, and they've stabilized perfectly with Ross change as well, like bringing in Deco, a phenomenal AWPer, shows it by statistics, and Resol, this young up-and-coming player who went to Forza and was playing on 100 FPS from home because his PC wasn't even good enough. He's now come into this roster, and in the space of 2 months, they've won online tournaments such as the Sky Esports like Grand Slam or whatever it's called. They've qualified for Bet Boom Daha. They played in CCT Global Finals. That's an S tier event online where they held their own, and also went to Mongolia. They've been going everywhere and been having like really, honestly, just admirable results. And I think this team, like, they are set for the skies. I can't wait to see them at like another proper S tier event on LAN.
So you mentioned Result coming in, a new young gun, new to this roster in any event. And so we've kind of picked him out as our player to watch because he is new in the roster, and we want to see how he's going to perform and how he's going to, live up to the expectations of a team like Aurora. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Well, so a big part of what we knew of the Aurora squad, with like Latic and Celta, they left, and that's why we brought in Deco, and then they tried to play with Belchnok for a little bit, which didn't really quite work. And I think Resalt's this like new player where he's still got a lot of energy in him, and honestly, he's an individual where ever since I first saw him, I was like, wow, okay, this guy's really good. And you come up from having like Jerry as your IGL when like back in the day. If you have that as your starting basis, you're going to be already off to an absolute flying start. And what's also really impressive is that when he hasn't been in this team for that long, but guess what? They've qualified for ESL Challenger Zhongnaping, which is next weekend. And like all these events that they've won, he's also been an incredibly key component. And he's done it on LAN, he's done it online. And this is someone who, in my opinion, is still like really, really, really inexperienced. Even though he's got like all of this new experience, the last 2 years he's been brand new, and I think he's going to be putting like, this is a guy to watch. And I think this Aurora roster, like, legitimately with next year and with the end of the season, I think like top 15, top 10, like that sort of area, they are beating so many good teams consistently, and Result now has, I think, upgraded them even further from what Belchnok or Celta did provide previously.
Oh, it's a very bold prediction here from Freddie, folks. You heard it here first. We're expecting to see Result or at least Aurora in the big numbers a little bit later on in the season. But as you can see down below, we also have our veto that has just come in. And to be honest, I don't think that there are any major surprises across the board here. Looks like the bans are, as predicted, Ancient Mirage, both teams picking into maps that they're incredibly strong on, that they enjoy playing, and Nuke seems to be fairly even ground. Freddie, I don't know if you disagree, if you have any other insight on that.
Honestly, no. I think with Inferno, RUSHB seem to be in like a weird position where like they don't really play much Inferno, and when it gets picked into them, they don't do very well. But then they also don't play any Dust 2, so like you see they're kind of forced to have like Dust 2 and Inferno as the two bans. It makes it a little bit interesting that Aurora maybe don't try pick into an Inferno, because even though it's not maybe one of the maps they've got many reps on, they're still very good at it. But I think Mirage is like, oh, look, like it's these guys' bread and butter.
Yeah.
They lost it in the series against Parivision, but they still ended up winning that series out. And I think, look, even like whatever the video is, I think Aurora should be taking this. What they got to do though is they can't 13-1 their opponents on map 1, trash talk on Twitter, and then lose the series like they did against 3D Max in the upper round 1 of the ESL Challenger playoffs. So they got to be a little bit careful where they might do amazing on their map pick or whatever. They still got to win the series out.
But Brady, the content. You
I
gotta do
do
it for
rate.
the content.
I do rate the content.
Yeah. We do love to see that. I, for one, am, as always, pleased to see that Vertigo has been completely banned out. To be fair, just double check this. Yeah, so they've like been banning Vertigo. It has nothing to do with the map changes, but I don't think that helped the scenario whatsoever. So we'll kick that into touch, and that's not going to be played at all. Interestingly, RUSHB were banning Overpass until Dust 2 came back into rotation. So clearly not comfortable with having that back in and having that playable. Also interesting that Aurora didn't kind of jump on that opportunity because their Overpass is also pretty damn good. So I would have liked to have seen if we'd maybe had that come through, but like you said, right, Mirage, bread and butter, they absolutely slap on it, and they have so many reps on it, so unsurprising to see that that has been the thing to come through. So obviously, we head on to our first map of Ancient. Anything in particular that we might be looking out for as we head on to it?
Well, I think like this is obviously a map that RUSHB are very good at. They've won it in this playoffs already against Saw, and then lost in a double overtime versus Sinners, who were also really good on Ancient. So I think this is a very strong map for them. Like I don't think it's completely out of the question to have a third mapper. I think if we do end up going to a Nuke, I don't think that's gonna be too surprising, but I'm pretty sure Nuke was the map. Yeah, Nuke was the 13-1 map for Aurora against 3D Max. And so like obviously did pretty well on that previously, also beat Paravision. I think there is a world goes to third maps, and look, RUSHB, they're not a like, they've done a lot of lower bracket runs before. This is not something new to them. For them even getting to ESL Challenger, they won the first game and then went down to the lower bracket, and it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games in the lower bracket in ESL Advanced Playoffs, which is insane. So they know how to do lower brackets runs. They've beaten the likes of TSM. Let's see if they can go now onto Aurora, who, in my opinion, are a big foe in this tier 2 space. I think they're kind of like now the gatekeepers of tier 1.5, where they're trying to get up, and I think RUSHB are just going to be another skull in their collection, but I'd love to be surprised.
Well, here we go, folks. We're going to be jumping straight into our very first map of this matchup. It is, of course, going to be Ancient, as we said before. It's Aurora, the favorites to win, coming up against the Cinderellas of RUSHB, who've made it here all the way from ESEA Advanced. We'll find out which one of these two teams will come up ahead in our very first match here.
Yeah, I'm gonna be looking at the likes of like Notta and Texi to perform, and I want the experience of Kinky to come in and start flooding the server. Ancient, map 1. It's RUSHB's map pick. They're going to be splitting towards A, taking contact in middle, but Lackey, that's a good first frag. Needs to make sure he doesn't overextend. He's only on 6 HP, and now as he falls, he needs to be careful of CT potential. That's why Resalt's a little bit he's looking everywhere, you know, and he's only able to get 1. The A defense falls, and RUSHB, this is a pretty good start on their map pick. Oh, what a shot.
And funnily enough, they did not, in fact, rush B. It was an A rush, and it worked out quite nicely. Now, Norway, see if he can bring something back. No, nice little dink there from Kinky. A really solid first round here. Just get that round on the board, get that bomb planted, make sure that Aurora can really not kick back whatsoever. Now they have tons of cash to work with, so looking comfortable so far, and already a timeout. That's surprising.
It's mental games. It's like
truly.
Yeah, we won the round. Let's get a bit of
busy tweeting.
Yeah, they're busy. Well, yeah, they're like, Aurora, what's happening? What's happening, guys? Aren't you supposed to win pistol rounds?
Okay, well, we'll get that done and dusted and out of the way. And of course, coming into this next round, Aurora don't really have a hell of a lot to work with. We are actually seeing a few upgraded pistols, which I don't think is terrible, right? But it's definitely brave. With CT side economy, with just kind of how this map tends to play out. I don't love it, but I think it could work really well, particularly if they can hit those all-important shots, right?
Yeah, you know, like, you never want to count them out, and I feel like Aurora especially are a team that I'd be anticipating to get quite cheeky on these pistols. I think they can get a lot of good damage, and damage exactly right there. I mentioned Deco. He is like, it's actually insane how crisp this guy is. I think I've dropped him. I'm pretty sure I've seen him get like 24 frags in the first half once before. So like, if you know, speaks for itself. And that was on Mirage in his last team. I think it was 1 win, right? So a map obviously that he would have played a lot previously. And let's just focus on Ancient now, though. Enough of my pedantics. It's a 4-player stack for Aurora on that B bomb site. There's no lenience there just yet for RUSHB, but this is a default that I could see very much going towards that B bomb site, and they're just clearing out middle, and that's exactly what's going to happen.
A little bit of util over towards A as well. This is to potentially enable a bit of a lurk here. They're going to meet up. Oh, and yeah, there you go. Lack, pistol out. Absolutely knocks out Kinky. That's a free rifle on board, and that's a ton of information given over. They know now it's not going to be an A hit, so they can start rotating over towards this B side. The util damage is chunky. RUSHB, so many of their players so incredibly low, but a bit of over-eagerness here from Aurora means they cannot capitalize. Now with only 2 players left alive. Bomb yet to go down. They've bought some time, but is it going to be enough? Nope, unfortunately not. Still a pretty clean round from RUSHB.
It's a clean round, and you'd almost think that, like, okay, they'd maybe lose at least 1 player or 2 players, and they lose 1 and that's it. So a very strong start for RUSHB, and Aurora now having to go onto the eco. The only benefit I see to when you do eco, when you buy up in the second round, is that when you do have the rifles out going into round 4, you actually have more of a solidified buy. Like, you do have the utility. You might get an AWP out on Deco. He's bought a P250, so I think that kind of answers the question of a no. Maybe would have liked to see him buy a little bit less in the previous round, just so that they, like, you know, with the foreshadowing of, okay, if we do lose, and I could still get an AWP out in round 4, but unless, I don't know, unless something crazy happens, he's not going to be getting it out. And yeah, RUSHB, good starts this series.
Yeah, we'll see if they can carry that momentum over. The fact that they come out of that last round only having lost 1 player means that any sort of a reinvest is super minimal. So no big concerns there. And they will have realized that Aurora had forced up somewhat. So they know that coming into this round, Aurora are going to be in some tight economic spaces. So they know that they'll continue having a strong advantage into this one. It was high risk, high reward for Aurora. Unfortunately, the risk far outweighed the reward just in that, you know, particular instance, which means they come into this round, as you can see, with very little to work with. Keep your eye on the fact that there is no kit as well. So should time begin to whittle away, they could be at a massive disadvantage.
I mean, if we have even come to a position where a kit can be useful, I'd be very, not even impressed with Aurora, but shocked for RUSHB. And
fair.
Executor almost runs into the grenades. Executor. Why did I say Executor? Executor. And something I was gonna, like, I was thinking about, kind of surprised me a little bit, and almost catches me a little bit off guard, is when I see these type of games, it's like, okay, Aurora, like, I've seen them heaps of times in the last whatever, because of the amount of games that we end up going through in, like, the CCT, the Yalos, the Res, whatever you want to have. Like, it's very rare for me anyways to have a team like RUSHB when I'm like, this is maybe the first time I've ever casted them, and I'm like, okay, that's what shocked me when I looked at their results. I was like, have they been playing anything? And the answer is no, they haven't. So I'm also, like, excited to watch the team, because, you know, they're doing well, so let's see why.
Oh, very aggressive from Kenzie, but it pays off. An instant first kill here. It's going to give them a lot of room to work with. They've taken so much of the space in mid. They've cut off the 2 extremities of RUSHB from one another. So they're going to have to go all the way through spawn or fight through 3 Aurora Gaming players if they want to meet up with the rest of their teammates. However, they've kept all of the attention over towards B. There's a bit of a potential lurk to come through, maybe down towards A long if it gets into position. But Result, great hold on the angle there. That cuts away some of the reinforcements here. Is it the lurk? Is it the push? We're not sure. And so Aurora have yet to rotate.
Ooh, Kenzie, make or break him. As soon as he dies now, throws Aurora into a bit of pandemonium because they're like, oh, we don't have anyone actually towards that B-bomb site. It's going to force Nori over. Lackey sniped down. Kiro, what a shot. What a double and what a start to this game. 6-0. And all of a sudden, a 2-man deficit goes into a very winnable 3 versus 3 for RUSHB.
Oh, it started so well for Aurora, but RUSHB played that very well, slowing down, waiting for Aurora to push and pull and prod. So now Deco in a very important position here, but also a very precarious one. You can see how he's dancing back and forth. He doesn't want to get walked up on, so he's just going to back away for now as the util starts to come through over towards the B site, and they realize this is where the hit is going to be happening. Norway trying to hold it down, trying to get a few shots through, trying to deny some space because there's so little time on the clock, but the bomb should, there you go, get planted. 3 versus 3 is still very doable. RUSHB so low on HP, and there you go, Norway to get the first to clean it up. And 2 players left to get through, but once again, still no kit on board. So timing is going to be of the essence here. Executor holding the line through the smoke as Aurora slowly make their way in towards the site here. Norway gets caught off guard. Kiro to follow it up beautifully, and Result somehow to clutch this. It's not going to happen. He's just going to have to maybe get an exit and back the hell away.
What a round from Kiro. I mean, like, obviously, Executor, I think him just on default there, not dying, is probably the most important part of that round. But I think the fact that Kiro even puts it into a winner position with the 3 versus 3, and then with at least 1 more frag when they're in that post plant 2 versus 3, this is a really poor round from Aurora after it starts off fabulously with aggressive plays from the likes of Kenzie and Result. And now RUSHB still keeping their flawless stature, 4-0, and Aurora, I mean, obviously it's still very early days, but a little part of me is like, oh, okay, that's the first gun round done. I'm not worried yet, but that's definitely not like a good sign, especially when these rounds, these games kind of just run away from you. And oh, look at this aggression from Result. Good for 1, traded out, and the 5-7 actually wins out those duels in middle, so RUSHB come away negative.
And that's not the first time Lackey's managed to get a really impactful kill with the 5-7, but can he follow it up here? He hasn't been able to... Yes, he has been able to recover the gun, but he's not pulling it up. Pistol still in hand! Oh, I thought it was him, but it was Norway, in fact, that gets the kill. Eventually, however, both of them will get gunned down, but they've brought it down to a 2 versus 2 in a round that they probably shouldn't have.
But then at the same time, even though they shouldn't have maybe been in this position, they were in a winning position not too long ago, and they still are, because Deco, sharp shooting, sets Kenzie up for success, but the Molotov in his position, Kenzie is running straight through it, takes a lot of damage, and Kira now ready and waiting, but Kenzie, that's a fantastic 1 versus 1 to be winning out, and Aurora right back on the board.
And the fact that they lose so many players is almost meaningless because of the fact that they came into that round with next to nothing, and they still managed to keep one of the guns. They brought an M4 in, and I believe Result managed to maintain... Okay, it was still an M4. No, there's an AK. Yeah, exactly. So they do actually manage to hold on to, you know, a slightly superior weapon at the end of that. But the swing from Kenzie, like when he's dancing through the flames, and I'm like, there's no way he peeks this and survives. The fact that he's able to do that and win out the 1v1 is massive, but it's a huge hero play, and if they're going to rely too much on the hero plays, it could become problematic.
I mean, yeah, I'm honestly shocked that he won that. I felt like, because it was what, Kiro as well, who was 8-0, so it was like, you've got someone who hasn't missed a beat on the other side, but Deco, the AWP is out. I've been hyping this man up so much. Now let's see if he can actually produce and reward me with some luxurious frags, and if they do cross the line a little bit too far in Donut, he could be greeting them with the 50 cal. Molotov's not going to force him away, it's just behind him. And RUSHB, right now, they're just putting pressure on B and middle. And I think the end goal is to come through Donut and go to A. Great re-aggression from Lackey. Same with Kenzie, but the issue is they miss those first early shots. And what I love is that they go, okay, we're going to back away now. Oh, no.
That's just honestly devastating. I think if I'm Kenzie there, I don't know how you react to that. Oh, an Executor, beautiful swing. That's a second kill to come through here for RUSHB as they now start making their way, you guessed it, towards this B side. Norway playing the advanced position, flashed out, cannot land the shots, but he's traded out. So much gets done, but unfortunately, Kiro, who yoinked to the AWP, will get the final shot of the round, and it's a 5th round for RUSHB.
It's looking really good for them. And that round as well, they get a little bit lucky that Aurora actually missed their shots on that ramp aggression. I think that's, like, if one player had died there, I think that's the type of thing that sways the game completely. And what I do like is that, as I said, I don't think the goal for that round was to go towards the B bomb site, but they do react really nicely in that default to take advantage of not only the opening kill, but just the displacement from Aurora. Like, you know they've aggressed, you know they've probably not got those crossfires, they're not set up exactly how they wanted to, and even though it was a 2 versus 1 at the end, that was only because Resol and Deco hit some nice shots in a 2 versus 5. So overall, apart from one low buy round loss, RUSHB, they've been all over this.
We'll see if Aurora can start to bring it back here. Nice result. Beautiful shot there, and that should be a gun recovered if they allow him to. It's a bit tight here, so trying to pick that. Oh, don't worry, man. Nobody saw that. Don't worry about it.
This is
still so much. Go on.
Yeah, I was gonna say, just the Molotov's hilarious, and that Molotov's correct. I think that flashbang wasn't correct. I think that I wanted to go where they are now, but even though the utility is a bit scrappy, surely they get the trade on Nori. Come on. Oh my god, that's a lot of damage. I was gonna say, oh, like, it's fine. Maybe not anymore.
I mean, so you got 3 players left for Aurora, 1 with a rifle, 2 with deagles. Deagles can be powerful, and Lackey has done some crazy things with a pistol previously, so there's still a chance for it. The RUSHB definitely have the advantage in a lot of different ways. Lackey forced forward by the Molotov. Could have gone back, but opts to take the aggressive position. Could put him in a lot of danger, but he wins out against the AWP. He is traded out, but that is a massive weapon taken off, at least for the moment. However, his teammates are so far away, so slow to rotate in. Kenzie will win the 1v1 versus Kiro. Now this is doable, but once again, there's still no kit, so this has to happen quickly, and that's why you'll see them rushing their way in, trying to make that space, trying to get in. They know there's one player left alive, not 100% sure where he is. He's tucked away deep in the corner. The trigger discipline and the spray is perfect, and it's another round for RUSHB.
That is a perfect 1 versus 2 play by Notta. He was maybe the one player I was like, okay, I'm expecting stuff from him, mostly just because his stats are amazing. Like, in this tournament, he's been fantastic, and right there, I'm starting to understand why. He plays this magically. The Molotov, they had 1 Molo on the board for Aurora, and I think they put it towards short or maybe towards cave entrance. And yeah, look, like, they're clearing so many different angles, and they just miss that one little tiny angle in Cubby, and they get penalized for it. However, look at this. Executor, 10 frags. He's running out middle, not going to add any to his tally there. And that's a bit of a bold play where everybody was blind, and luckily there's 3 middle.
A lot of damage chunked away early on, though. Oh, beautiful from Kenzie. Line him up, knock him down, but Kiro does trade it out. Advantage here at Aurora Gaming, and this is one of the strongest advantages they've had, I'd say, for the entire game. If they can't make this work, it would be devastating, and with Kiro getting that first shot off, the pins may start to fall against them. Aurora's so far away from the site here, so a lot of space for RUSHB to work with. And the AWP is doing work. The last 2 players are so low HP. Surely you just go for the savior, man.
So you heard of Cast a Curse? Because I think that's a pretty good example of it. Round's not over just yet. Don't get me wrong, but I'm not gonna lie. Like, this is rough, especially even though Texie's got a Galil. I think that's still a 1. It's definitely a 1 to result. Won't be a 1 shot to Deco on the body, but it's still like 2 shots plus, or just a dink is a 1 shot. RUSHB, they play this really slowly, and I like it. They don't force any issues. They just wait, make sure they actually have time to get the bomb down. And I'm not completely sure they know where both players are. And there is a world that Aurora saved this if they can't find a frag soon because there's no kit. But Texie seems pretty convinced as a player coming ramp. He's correct, but needs to be careful of CT because that's exactly where the second is. And oh, now it's just Kiro left with the AWP. Can't capitalize on the low HP like the rifle can. And Result drives by him. Sure, Aurora, they win the round, but that is a lot closer than we would have ever anticipated.
Whew, it's a great turnaround there. And I'll be honest, if that AWP shot misses, that round falls apart. That was such a huge moment because it allows the space needed for the wide swing to come through and get that final kill. I think that plays out perfectly well for Aurora, even with their low HP. Very, very brave. I mean, I said it like, don't you just want to save, guys? But no, they actually do manage to. I mean, they do save. They saved the entire damn round. However, there's still a lot to be done here for the CT side, right? We've got 4 rounds left in this half. They've finally managed to make something happen. The good news is, with how close these rounds have been, RUSHB don't have all the money in the world to work with. So, you got Kinky down on a Mac 10. They're severely limited in utility. This is a great chance for Aurora to bring it back.
It is a great chance, but RUSHB not playing by their namesake, and they're rushing A, and it's working out even more perfectly than you could ever imagine. There's a great mid lurk as well from Executor, so even though he's been going a little bit faster and they've been putting a lot of resources to get him out in that position, he is actually used as a last prong to, I think, actually get the first kill in the round as well. And then on top of that, it's all curtains right here for Aurora. And the one thing I was going to say in the last round was RUSHB have been doing really well at defaulting, and they've been catching off Aurora in these mid rounds. So I wasn't a huge fan of them going for a faster play, maybe like contacting up A, or when they contacted up B, I was like, look, maybe you could just continue what you're doing. But they proved me wrong. They heard my thoughts, and they proved me wrong by rushing A, and they do allow the saved AK and AWP. But 7-2, this is a great start on their map pick.
Let's be real, for a team called RUSHB, they do very little rushing. But it does definitely work out in their favor, like you said, right? Great defaults, great mid-rounding. And Aurora really seem to be struggling with this tempo. And I say that, but even when they go for the rushes, they still kind of fall apart at the seams. And it's a tough call, right? If they're going to rush you, you might want to fall back. But when do you make that call? When you decide, okay, this is definitely going to be a rush. It's a tight position to be in. I love this early aggression. A great molly from Result. Dexter gets actually completely stuck, but Dexter will trade. Kenzie, we've seen him do wonders in that position before, but this time around, he's going to get taken out. And once again, advantage RUSHB, but still a lot of space for Aurora to work with, particularly this MP9.
I mean, the MP9, it's in an ideal position for its caliber.
Don't peek.
But I don't know. This is a game of cat and mouse, and Deco, well, he's more of a gorilla in this affair. He's the king of the jungle. Smoke down, almost gets spotted off, and RUSHB, they have the man advantage, which is not something I would have anticipated after great mid utility from Aurora, great flashes, great Molotov. They know Executor's getting very aggressive majority of the rounds, and even though he didn't get aggressive in the last, like, still had that mid lurk, but it's just that trade from Texi, and then Kinky getting his kill in Cave. Aurora, though, they have the right idea. 3 players now towards this B bomb site. The SMG's up close and personal. He's going to see the utility. He's going to get ahead of it and drops the bomb. Now confirms that this B bomb site is under siege. And with 25 seconds left, they can go back A if they want to. However, the bomb has to be picked up. They fight and they fall. Aurora together in a triumphant stand triumphantly.
I think that's probably one of the things that has really been a thorn in the side for Aurora, because RUSHB, they don't really fake. They like pick a site and that's where they go. And Aurora have been pretty slow to respond. This time around, knowing that it's looking like a B hit, having all 3 players there playing off of one another perfectly, they're able to bring the round back under their control and clutch it out. I think that we need to see a bit more decisiveness. And it's hard because you don't want to get caught out. You don't want to get caught in a rotation, caught with your pants down. But sometimes you've got to make those tough decisions. Now for RUSHB, back down onto pistols. Realistically, this should be an Aurora game. And with Lucky getting those first 3 kills, I think it should be.
Yeah, not much of an investment. So not really much expectations. Good resilience for Aurora, though, to be able to bring themselves back into this half. 5-7 half would be more than fine. And as we go into the final round of the half then now, round 12, Aurora, they have the money, they have the funds, they have the means. There's no AWP up on the T side. Nota, who hasn't been maybe as explosive as the likes of Executor and Kiro, he's a little bit disheartened with the non-primary rifle. And I'm interested to see if they go for a default, which has been working out so well, and if they send Executor out mid again so fast. He's going towards middle, and I think they might try pop him through. I'm not really sure. He's standing like he's poising, that he wants to do something, but I don't think they're going to act on it.
So much utility around the map from RUSHB, and that's been another key point for them. Their info denial has been fantastic. This time around, however, heavy lean towards B. I mentioned they don't really fake terribly often, but look at where the bomb is. It's making its way over towards A, potentially. Now, of course, should they get a nice early pick on B, should they get control of the site, the bomb should more than likely rotate. But for now, I mean, they're doing a great job of kind of keeping Aurora distracted as much as possible. And Aurora not willing to take the bait.
They have Lackey in Red Room, but he's going to get smoked off. So now all of mid control capitulated. That's a big issue for Aurora. And they're going to go and lean on this B bomb site. As you said, I'm looking at that bomb. I'm looking at Texi, and I'm like, okay. He's moving towards A with that bomb. In the meantime, though, we've seen this type of aggression from Aurora. This time it's actually going to work out, and yeah, they're going towards A. They're going to go through Donut. 4 players were over towards B from Aurora. Deco gets shrapnel to the feet. He knows it's 1 A main, and he drops the bomb. 30 seconds. Time's going to be an issue here, and utility is even further an issue. What? Executor? How is he doubled down there? Deco's still alive. Deco's still nailing shots, and the 5-7's wielded. A hat trick will send Aurora to 5 rounds. Let's see if they can continue this in the second half.
Some well-timed, well-played moments from Aurora bring them back into fighting position here. A 7-5 half in favor of RUSHB. It was looking pretty one-sided, but Aurora have the chance now on their T side to bring back that control and maybe win out this map.
This pistol round is going to mean a lot, and RUSHB, I guess they're, like, you can't rush B against them. Is that kind of their name as well? Like, the defenders of B, they're the attackers of B. It's like their domain through and through. Basically, what I mean, Aurora try to go B and die very quickly. They don't even get on the bomb site. They don't even get up ramp. They die at the gates.
We were talking about gatekeepers a little bit earlier on. I think you were actually referring to Aurora at the time. But it seems RUSHB might just be the gatekeepers of the B site. Aurora have a serious uphill battle ahead of them here if they want to try and wrestle back some control in this round. A bomb plant would be phenomenal. If they could win the round, that would be pure magic, but it seems unlikely at this early stage. 50 seconds left here, and ooh, Kenzie pins it in from both sides. And it's another round, another pistol to go in favor of RUSHB.
Yeah, the only thing that I kind of see for Aurora that might be playing to their deficit because of how many tournaments they've been playing recently is just that. They've been playing so much. Like, they've gone from LAN to LAN. They've been playing a lot of online cups. Been playing at a very high level of opponents. And I'm pretty sure I saw someone on Twitter saying, like, Resalt's flat got flooded when he was in Mongolia. And that also their coach broke his legs. He fell off the stage. Or something like that. So, you know, they've had a bit of issues recently, and they've had a lot of traveling. So that's definitely going to play into the hands of RUSHB. And right now, they're taking that by the scruff of the neck. 8-5. That's RUSHB winning both pistol rounds?
Yep.
Both pistol rounds. And also, well, if they win this next gun round, we could be going to Mirage with RUSHB map lead.
Bearing in mind, of course, this is their map pick. So, slight caveat that is worth bearing in mind. You said yourself, there is the chance of a third map. And if there was any place for it to happen, it would kick off here on Ancient. As we get our little death ball heading its way up towards mid here. Oh, they don't check. Oh, he's only good for one, but thankfully there's a nice little crossfire set up here. And it's an absolute bloodbath in mid with RUSHB only losing one player.
As we get into the first gun round, I just took a quick look at the other scores. Sangal are up on Ancient as well, 9-3. It's their map pick. Ooh. And big shout out to Youngster. He put a tweet out yesterday being talking about his development. It's like 1 year ago, I was watching Saw demos to see how I can improve, and today we beat them in the playoffs in the lower bracket. So it's really cool to see Sangal doing well. And I think Koi are up 6-1. I saw. If I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Koi up 6-1 on Sinner's map pick on Inferno. So we've got a lot of Ancient. We've got a lot of rumbles in the jungle. And RUSHB, they're certainly rustling some feathers. First gun round. And Kinky, what? Okay, that's like the easiest opening frag you're ever going to get in your life. Kenzie just seemingly not even aware there could be someone at cave. That's an instant man advantage, a 2-for-1 trade. RUSHB, they have control of lane, but they might be forced to give it up. Kiro, this is bold, and he does push through that smoke, gets a dink, and now all of a sudden Aurora, because of the aggression from RUSHB, have now backed the advantage.
Couple of players very low on HP though, so a stray bullet would very quickly turn things back in RUSHB's favor. And Aurora have kind of stalled out a little bit here. They've got just under a minute left, so there is some time to play with, but they're giving RUSHB so much space. Not going to come around the corner here. Gets his head blown right off by Lackey. And now Kinky re-peeks it, manages to get the kill there, but instantly swung upon. And Aurora will bite back and get themselves another round here. Only a 3-round deficit. And it was a great round from them as well.
Yeah, they do get a little bit lucky, I want to say, where the first 2 kills come in very lackadaisically. Aurora do allow for Kinky to get a double with the MP9, but then it's just RUSHB trying to keep hold of this space. And that was their issue. They tried to keep hold of it and did so very aggressively and individualistically. And I think that's something that I praised Aurora for on their CT side. When things were going a little bit wrong at lane, they instantly backed away. And that was one positive on their CT side that we've already seen as a negative for RUSHB, and up on the low buy, up on the pistols. Kinky has loads of money because of the MP9s and like not dying, getting kills. So he's going to have, well, they have 1900 loss bonus. So he's going to have something like 9k in the next round where he can drop an AWP over and maybe even like another rifle. So money shouldn't be an issue for RUSHB, even though they've got such low loss bonus.
Money, of course, a very important factor. I love that they've gone for that like crazy stack over towards B, and despite the fact that the first kills come through on A, they're still just kind of vibing. Not too much more to be done in this round, I suppose. Bomb's gonna go down completely uncontested. I think once that does go down, RUSHB will come out for the retake. Maybe? Maybe? Guys?
Just gonna, I mean, they're on just the USPs. They're gonna see if they can get like an exit frag potentially. See if they can stick together. Anyone may carelessly come into their crosshairs. They can bring that Galil or AK into the next round. And that's exactly what they're going to do over in Cave. Stacking 4 players. If anybody walks into their traps, they're going to get ensnared. And Aurora, I don't think they're even going to do that because they know exactly what the sus is.
I mean, I don't see a world in which they do this unless they like 3-person swing it. And even then, it's probably not worth. So hold on to your weapons. Don't give over anything unnecessarily. We head into the next round. Oh, a little bit of spray there. Doesn't actually connect onto anything. If they'd been somebody there, that would have been hilarious. So RUSHB come through with 4 players alive, and of course they denied that extra little bit of cash over to Aurora for getting those kills. It wouldn't have made the biggest difference in the world, but you know, it's a matter of principle. And if they can keep these rounds close, then it can definitely make a difference long term. Aurora not yet in the most comfortable position economically, so every little bit does at least help. So RUSHB now going to be able to buy in, as you said, right? Not in a lot of danger economically. 1 round away from double digits, but Aurora on this T side have slowly started to claw their way back into contention.
Yeah, that was a really, really big pickup for Aurora winning that gun round. For Aurora winning that gun round, kind of maybe because of RUSHB's negligence. And they've done well against the eco, but as I said, I think money should be good. We'd expect the AWP out early on the T side. Kinky can then buy a rifle for himself, so I think we're going to be completely fine with weaponry. Maybe, for instance, like Nota only has a smoke, so he's gone for a kit instead of like a double flash, which I think if we can get a kit out on everybody else, it's probably fine if he doesn't have a kit. But yeah, money should be good. I've got a small match pause, and then when we get back into the game, it will be that full buy.
I imagine that this is a bit of a tech issue, so hopefully we'll get that sorted out as quickly as possible. We want all of our players to be firing on all cylinders. We don't want any bugs in the server to cause chaos and havoc. So what do you think, right? We had our predictions about Aurora winning it out. Aurora started to have a little bit of a comeback so far on the map. Do you think they'll be able to steal this one away and make it a 2-0?
A lot of these questions, I think, are going to get answered in this next round. I think this is going to be a very...
Cop-out.
Well, no, but I mean, like, I think, like, it's really something that, like, this is the round where I think those questions do get answered. Where, like, if RUSHB win this, then okay. They're back on fighting form. I think if Aurora win this in a cleaner fashion, I'm going to start believing. But I still think that RUSHB are right now in the driver's seat. Even though it's 2 rounds that separates them, I think they're in the driver's seat for this map.
Okay. Less than bold prediction, but I've never known you to be entirely inaccurate, so we'll see if that does come to fruition.
I don't know. A lot of people wouldn't agree with that.
That's okay. They don't know you like I do. It's all for the content. All right. Some good map control here from RUSHB. They have left A more or less open, but that is somewhat standard. And they have come to reinforce pretty darn quickly. Noda will catch the lurk. That is massive. So now they have the player advantage and they can begin to kind of pincer in. They've managed to buy enough time to stall a plant from even being attempted. And Aurora kind of have to commit at this point. There's no chance of turning away, of trying to head over towards B, and some spam through the smoke will get yet another kill here for RUSHB. Aurora yet to plant. Oh, dear Lord. Taxi getting yet another one. Bomb is lost. And then their lurk is still chilling in mid, so far away from anything. But Resort will be able to get one for himself at the very least. There you go. Lackey activates as well.
Oh.
They've kept this somewhat close, but somehow 1v3 has to be the call. And nope, can't be done. We're just going to back away and hold on to the weapon.
I'd honestly love to tell you what happened that round, but I'm really quite confused at like what Aurora were doing. So you have two players that walk out A early. They get complete space, and I think a big part of that was they weren't anticipating for it to just be like theirs instantly. Like the bomb site was straight away in the hands of Aurora. The bomb and then a second player, so it would have been a fourth player. There's 4 players on the bomb side, and then you had, I think Nori was the one that was lurking. It was even Nori or Kenzie that was lurking on shelf. And I think Aurora just didn't really anticipate that RUSHB would be giving up that bomb site so early on. And the bomb was not in a position. It was there was no like cohesive unit. There was 2 people split apart. There was like 2 groups of 2. And the bomb was in that latter group. So the bomb never gets to the bomb site in time. And by the time he does get there, their lurk has already died. So RUSHB have full confidence that it's not going to be the B bomb site. And they go over towards A. Aurora, that's a really poor round. And if they, like, I think, yeah, I think RUSHB have it. This is, like, just a really poor T-side round. And especially if this round goes in favor of RUSHB, then look, money is completely dumb. And I think we're going to Mirage. And, yeah, that's another great opening kill to further their point.
This mid-aggression has been so difficult for Aurora to contend with. So RUSHB will open it up with yet another one. And again, I mean, this map control from them has been fantastic round after round. They don't give Aurora a lot of space to do anything kind of sneaky or do anything cheeky. Instead, Aurora find themselves having to stick to fairly set patterns unless they can get early kills, unless they can find the space they need to rotate. Again, losing that first player so early on, they have to stall out, they have to wait, they have to try and find some information because they know they're at a massive disadvantage.
It's just like, there's a disadvantage of having a player down. Obviously, you're in the 4 vs 5, but it's just a disadvantage of being like, you've got no map control. Like, Kira's got full control in middle, so it's allowing still for 3 players to be towards B. And now, I'm pretty sure the information's there. Like, executes come through. They're playing a little bit slow, so trying to seed the seeds of confusion into the heads of RUSHB. 1 for 1, and now it's this double stacking cave that actually gets dismantled. Because of because of the one player because of Nota going 1 for 1 on long, he dies, and it puts both Kinky and Executor in this really uncomfortable position where one player has to look kind of towards the bomb site, one player has to look towards cave. They're not really playing that like 2-player position as well as it can be. And Aurora, I honestly do not know how that round goes in their favor that cleanly.
Yeah, it was a bit unfortunate. Like you said, right, the kill onto Nota makes a huge difference. I think that maybe Nota plays a little bit too aggressively there. And to be fair, he does manage to get that first kill. But the fact that he's not able to back away, get off of site, and regroup with the rest of the team, like you said, leaves the B site pretty free and clear just because of the fact that RUSHB went for that high-low scenario in cave, whereas they could have had, you know, a different setup. And if they'd had a different setup, maybe that round goes differently. But they gambled on a particular play and it didn't work out, and it just crumbles around them. And I mean, Aurora, to their credits, they play off of that really, really well. I like the fact that they stall out a little bit, they wait, they take a moment, they try to re-clear mid, and they also give Lackey time to reposition to get through mid and to be able to group up with the rest of the team playing off of that flash. So well played from Aurora at the very least to keep things competitive. And now RUSHB are on a really, really wonky bye.
Ooh, okay. They're on a wonky buy, yeah. Not the most ideal with 5-7s and FAMASs. But, of course, it's the FAMAS that gets the opening kill, because why not? And RUSHB have been definitely they've controlled mid, I feel like, this whole game. On both the T side and the City side. On T side, you had specifically Executor running through, and he was charging in. And in this half, it's just been very good defaults from them. Mentioning Executor and kind of mentioning someone like Kiro, I think they were both 10-2 at one stage, or within those same realms. So they've both obviously maybe stopped fragging out a little bit after they had that really early start, and that's maybe why Aurora have been able to close the gap.
It does make a huge difference. Yeah, I think Kiro was actually 7-0 at a point. Like this map kicked off at a ridiculous tear for them. And this round starts off really well for RUSHB because, let's face it, Lackey and Result have been doing a lot of the heavy lifting so far. A lot of those clutch kills, a lot of those important multi-frags that give them the space that they need. So taking Lackey offline, huge advantage here for RUSHB. This time around, not going for that same map control. How do you keep doing this, bro? The pistols have been getting unreasonable amounts of value throughout this map. And again, the FAMAS will just go absolutely crazy, get yet another kill. I mean, that's it, right? Like, there's literally nothing to do here. Sure, you've got to lurk all the way through the freaking CT spawn, but how much is that realistically going to accomplish?
Well,
it's GG.
Nothing, because there's 10 seconds on the clock when yeah, like, again, very disjointed. That was the similar theme that I saw, you know, when I mentioned when they were going towards A, and it was like this really weird disjointed execute. That feels something the same. You have one player maybe mid, one player out A, two players trying to go up B, and it's like, so what's actually the plan here? Like, what are we actually trying to do? And I feel like Aurora needed tactical timeout because it does seem as a big breakdown in comms. It seems a little bit messy. Me and Alan were commenting that it felt when we saw Monty play, there was a big lack of communication. There was a big breakdown in them. And then I saw a tweet with Stiko being like, oh yeah, we did have comm issues. And I was like, okay, banger, we were on the dot. And it feels like Aurora here, that's a similar sentiment going for them.
Yeah, and it's a rough position for that to be happening, right? Lower bracket, trying to get that, you know, sweet positioning. You can get yourself into EPL in a good foot. But again, I mean, I feel like we just have to bring it back to RUSHB and the fact that this is a team that has made it through advanced. They have completely, you know, thrown everyone's expectations, blown us all out of the water. They continue to just keep tearing through now, staring down the barrel of another round, bringing us up to 12 and putting us on map point if they can get through this one. Result already offline. That rifle not going to be recovered, it seems, as Lackey's just going to push his way up through mid. Could get a solid lurk out. Oh, the shot to be fired will be heard, will be punished. Oh, a bit of a team kill to come through, but that's okay. We're still at the advantage here. Last two players, every single angle is covered. They cannot make a move without being spotted, and there it is, the 12th round for RUSHB, and Aurora definitely floundering.
Okay, yeah, so you mentioned it wasn't a bold take, but I think when I said that, like, okay, RUSHB looked like they're winning it out, that has exactly formulated. They've looked like the stronger team throughout this whole game. And, okay, we're not over yet. It's 12-8. It is map point, and it is Aurora on Tech 9, so we're not looking at the best of purchases. But, yeah, RUSHB, they have really felt like they've been in charge of this whole map, and it is their map pick. I did say it had a world to go to a third. I still think it does. I still think Aurora win out Mirage, but it's going to have to be a bit of a change up from what we're seeing right now. Like, we're seeing very disjointed Counter-Strike, which I think will be a theme that can carry on to any single map. And now it looks like it's going to either end on the A-bomb site or continue this map on the A-bomb site.
See which it shall be. Aurora already taken up some space, quite advanced positioning. RUSHB, oh, opting to take the fight directly to Aurora, and they will win out on almost every single one of these kills. A couple of trades to come through. Norway now has to somehow 1v3 clutch. All he has to play with right now is the Deagle, and his head will get blown off by Kiro. 13-8 RUSHB will take their map pick of Ancient, and they looked pretty damn good on it from start to finish, it must be said. Aurora definitely felt like a bit of a fish out of water, and I think that's really surprising because they've had some really good results on Ancient. I was expecting more.
Look, they've had good results just outside of Ancient, just in Counter-Strike. Like, they've been winning online tournaments, they've been playing at literal tier 1 events against tier 1 opponents, and now they're being like ego peaked by RUSHB and kind of knocked down a peg. That last round was a little bit scary. Like, there was I think it was Executor's rotation. As soon as that smoke came in CT, he instantly rotated in, and if it wasn't for that rotation, I actually think that round might have been lost because of how awkward it was on the A main entrance. But our Kadia player to watch, Result, 12 and 14, I think that, you know what, he didn't have a great game, but it wasn't just him on Aurora. I don't feel like anybody really had a great game. The only even like moment I can remember from someone doing something good was like Deco on the final round of the first half, and apart from that, it's just like not really much.
Yeah, unfortunately it was not the map that we were expecting, not the map that we were hoping for, but RUSHB will take that to the bank every day of the week. We're going to take a short break, and when we return, we'll kick things off on Mirage, and we'll find out, is it going to be a 2-0 sweep, or will Aurora fight their way back into the series? Welcome back, everybody, to ESL Challenger League Season 47. We are in the thick of our playoffs matches, and we've got a bit of a barn burner on our hands here. Aurora coming up short, in fact, against RUSHB, the Cinderella story coming through from ESEA Advanced. First map went in favor of RUSHB. It was their map pick, but Aurora admittedly looked a little lost and dazed. So we head into map 2. It's Aurora's map pick. It's Mirage. Freddy, what are we expecting here?
Well, I just kind of want to start off as well and be like, yeah, like you've hit the nail on the head there of like, sure, RUSHB won and they did play very well. Do not get me wrong. But Aurora did not play well whatsoever. Like, there was a lot of rounds, especially on that T side, where I'm watching their defaults and kind of where they're wanting to go. And I'm like, I honestly do not quite understand where the game plan is exactly for this. Like, you have a lot of players all over the map moving pieces that didn't seem like they were quite together, and there did seem to be a breakdown of communications at some stages. On top of that as well, I think it didn't help that at the very start of the game, both Kiro and Executor had like 10 frags in 5 rounds or something like that. So you had a really early start by individuals popping off, and there wasn't really that matchup by Aurora. And sure, those players did slow down, but then that's when like Nota, Kinky, and even Texi as well to some regard stepped up. So it was actually a really even playing field for RUSHB, and everyone was doing better than Aurora. We now go into Mirage. I did say I still think Aurora will win this map. Like, they're really good on this map. This is like Mirage and Aurora. It's like they genuinely are insane. They've had win streaks of like 15 plus games against top tier opponents, because Aurora, they get the reps in. They're also getting the reps in against some of the best teams in the world.
Yeah, I mean, you're taking a look at their history now. This, I'm looking at Mirage specifically. And I mean, their recent streak has been decent. They did lose this map against Paravision a little earlier in Challenger League, so I might be feeling a little bit raw off the back of that. But aside from that, I mean, they have had some incredible performances over the last, couple of months. So they come into this map presumably feeling confident, knowing it backwards and forwards and inside and out. They've played it 23 times in the last 3 months, and they've won it 20 of those times. So with only 3 losses under their belt, you've got to believe that they're going to be feeling good. So here it is, folks. We jump straight into our second map of the series, RUSHB versus Aurora Gaming. And, well, tournament lives on the line here for Aurora. They need this win if they want to advance in the bracket.
And it's also, look, like one of those losses was against MIBR in a grand finals at ESL Challenger Melbourne. So it's not exactly like they're losing to bad teams as well in like these not so important games or whatever. Like, they're losing in grand finals, which means they're still able to get to those positions. And also that means they haven't made it to ESL Pro League yet, 'cause they haven't won a challenger. And so this tournament does have some extra weight to it. And now with a map down, Deco, that's a great start. Executor rotated off that B bomb site, and they ended up playing 4 players towards A and middle, and that's going to put them in a bit of an uncomfortable position, considering, I was going to say it's a 4 versus 5, but that kill makes it a 4 versus 4 retake for RUSHB.
It's definitely doable, and Aurora will make things that little bit more one-sided as they get yet another kill here. Now RUSHB trying to put on the retake. 1 kill to come through, but it is instantly traded off. Executor now head-to-head, toe-to-toe, but cannot win out that duel. Noda now has to 1 versus 2. Both players positioned so well. It's a great swing from Deco while the head was turned. And the first round will go in favor of Aurora. RUSHB winning the first 2 pistols on our previous map. This time around, Aurora will bring that pistol right back into their control.
Well, that's a little bit more like it for Aurora. Yeah, as you mentioned, they didn't win a single pistol round on Ancient, and I think that definitely was a big part of why RUSHB not only got a good start, but were able to end off that map. One thing I will say though is that, like, look, RUSHB did have only 1 player on that bomb site, so I think that was definitely a very difficult retake to ever be going into. So sure, Aurora win it out, but I think that was always the expectation. I would have been really shocked if they hadn't won that post plant out.
RUSHB not opting for the same force that we saw from Aurora in the previous map, and, well, with good reason. They go for a bit of a mid-rush. They're trying to get a pick-off if they can, trying to keep things a little bit expensive, but it's an absolute spray down. And Kinky's the last one left alive. And again, it's just trying to do a bit of damage if you can. Try to take a gun away. not going to be allowed to happen. Another round in favor of Aurora, pretty much as we expected that one to go.
Yeah, that flash did make me a little bit tentative. Like, look, there's a lot of blind faces, but I think there was like 1 or 2 that weren't, so all good. RUSHB on the rifles. Everybody, it's a full rifle round. There's 2 Galils out for Lackey and Kenzie, but apart from that, everybody's on their primary weapons, and this is a big litmus test for me. It's like, okay, Aurora, this is your map. You had a pretty difficult first map. Now let's prove why you're so good in general and also on Mirage. It's not a good start.
Yeah, I mean, it's great for RUSHB at the very least, you know, try and bring things back under their control. We've had a lot of util all across the map here. It's all meant to distract. It's smoke and mirrors as the push does come in towards this A site. You know, they do have control of the site, and bomb should get planted here, completely uncontested. Oh, wow. As the bomb goes down, that's when the contestation comes through. The spam through the smoke will connect, and with only 3 players left alive here for Aurora, this hold is going to have to be immaculate, and they're just not making it work. Deco, however, keeping it competitive. 2 versus 3. Oh, beautiful shot from Wrestle to ring through. Tap on the bomb to try to pull some heads out. Executor, what a shot! And the final shot into Palace will come through from Kinky. A great retake here from RUSHB. It looked like Aurora were going to bring it back, but RUSHB just hold it down.
And I want to say it's a great round from Executor. On the face of it, it's only 1 frag, so you're like, oh, why are you hyping him up? Because that first kill was found because of him. I'm not sure if we're going to have it on the replay. Yeah, look at him how blind he is. Guess why he's blind? Because Executor threw a fantastic flashbang from short. Deco almost changes the tides and changes the fortunes of Aurora. But when he gets into connector, he can't hit maybe the easier shot of the 3 as well, which is, you know, you hit the harder ones, you hit the double spray down, but then you can't hit someone who's not even really looking at you. Great first round for RUSHB to be picking up. It's a great opener. It does get a little bit close towards the end, but they end up closing it off.
Now RUSHB gonna be happy with that one. But Aurora still have some cash to work with. Of course, that would have been the bonus round, so have something to bring into this round. However, losing this round will put them in a tight spot. Acutely aware of that, Kenzie locks in. And that's going to get the very first kill, rather, for this round. Give the advantage over. A nice default here as RUSHB give over some space. We saw them take far more aggressive control on Ancient. This time around, however, they're going to play things a little bit more passive. Wait to see what Aurora do. They've left B relatively unguarded, so they're looking to play a full retake here. Maybe Executor can catch a rotation. And there it is, the first kill to come through. However, Kenzie with the backstab shuts him down. That's the B site, free and clear. Bomb to get planted, completely uncontested. And, well, for the rest of RUSHB, a 3-person save? I don't hate it.
Yeah, I quite like it, actually. And I think that's how the round was set up, where you do have Executor in maybe this isolated island. Like, you have no mid control, and that's why we do see Kenzie just backstabbing him quite for free, because there was no information that could be the case. RUSHB, they lose the opening kill in connector, and then do put their forces on one side of the extremity to go, look, if you come here, we're going to win out the round. If you go to B, we're going to bite the bullet. Executor's probably going to fall, sending him to the slaughterhouse, but we're going to save 3 rifles because of it. So Aurora, they do find a nice rebuttal, but they're not out of it completely because of those saved rifles for RUSHB. The only thing I will add is that last round when the retake happened, it could have been a lot cleaner, and now you start seeing if it was done cleaner, there'd be better money on the board for this repurchase.
I think a lot of that comes down to that map control, right? Like, the fact that Executor is so easily backstabbed here, that, you know, you're able to thread the needle and completely circumvent the entirety of RUSHB to then get that kill onto the solo B anchor and completely open up that site. It's not ideal. It's not the best position. And I understand RUSHB, you know, they didn't have a lot to work with there. It was a little bit of a gamble, but it didn't pay off. So now they come through with the saved weapons from the previous round. Plus 2 USPSs. Not terribly much more to work with. One kit on board at least, so if they can keep this close, then there is a world in which they can steal this away. Some solid early pressure from Aurora as well. Oh, Lucky trying to do the same shenanigans as the previous round. But does get caught out, so they know that there is some presence in towards middle here. They've pulled the rotation off. The A site is completely free and clear with just a little bit of noise made over towards the B site. RUSHB have left A entirely unguarded.
It's just, I think it's kind of a similar sentiment to that previous round, where if you spread your forces thinly in this round where you have two A1Ss and a FAMAS and also no utility, then you're probably not going to be winning it out. So they again bite the bullet. They go for a gamble stack. They've gamble stack A and then Aurora went B. They gamble stack B and Aurora go A. So RUSHB, they've unfortunately had the wrong thoughts 2 times in a row, but what it will mean is that the two A1Ss and FAMAS can be saved into the next round, where they only have 2400 loss bonus, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe, yeah, 2400 loss bonus it would be, and where utility could be a little bit scarce. They're actually going to have a pretty good purchase because of these saved rifles. And Aurora, I don't even know if it's worth going for the hunt, because you know they can buy in the next, so it's like, do we need to be giving up rifles of our own?
Apparently. They definitely feel confident that they'll keep it fairly one-sided if they do push for this. But it looks like no. Instead, they'll just kind of hold a couple of angles and see if RUSHB actually do peek out. And of course, RUSHB have no reason to. There's no world in which they have to move from their position, so not too much to happen here as the round goes the way of Aurora Gaming. Completely clean, as RUSHB had totally evacuated the site. Now, a little bit of cash to work with. Giro's got AWP in hand. That could be a difference maker. But I really want to see RUSHB taking more of that map control. It's crazy to me that we come from Ancient, where they consistently had a finger on the pulse in every single area and were slowly encircling Aurora. Whereas now on Mirage, it's kind of felt like they leave so many gaps open and so much space for Aurora to take control of.
Yeah, the issue just has been as well a bit of like not having the economy, having a man disadvantage. I think they've been in very just uncomfortable situations. It's been just a weird start of the half for them. And now as we go into round 6, there's no more of those excuses, right? You have everything. You have full rifles and all-powerful hero, and now also Nota, who alongside Kinky pushed ramp, but they've dissected, and Nota with his continuous push is going to find the bomb. So this default needs to be very careful, because when they come back and pick up that bomb, Nota will be striking. And he's actually maybe going to take matters into his own hands, clearing out the B bomb site. There's one player there. He's holding his trigger, seeing if there's any more. He gets the kill, but so does Lackey over in short. And now it starts to be a little bit scary for Aurora, because they know that the bomb has been lost. So they're trying to fight their way forward, see if they can find these kills so they can maybe send more players to go hunt Nota. This is going to be a big interaction. Nota kind of has to get both of them. Playing around the stairs. They don't find him. He catches Lackey off guard. Misses the first shot, but Lackey can't get out. And there's no support from Deco. 25 seconds left. And look at this. Kinky, who pushed ramp. They knew he was there. He'd already got a kill from deep ramp and completely catch them off guard. RUSHB, so many different prongs moving at the different moments. And Aurora have no idea how to deal with it.
That's the map control that I was waiting for, that I was hoping for. I love that aggressive push all the way into their spawn, wrapping around, getting the kill, getting control of the bomb. The fact that he's able to then get that second kill is huge. It then confirms their control of the bomb. So even when he does get traded out, RUSHB have already rotated in towards mid. So the moment that Deco peeks out, they cut him down. And he has absolutely no chance. It was a beautifully orchestrated round from RUSHB. We need to see more of that. It cannot be a one-and-done scenario. We head into this next round here, and, well, smoke spam goes the favor of Aurora.
Goes in favor of Aurora, and Kiro, he's going to have to start hitting some shots. He's had 2 very good opportunities because he hasn't taken them, Aurora still a flawless round. Executor, similar, pretty good opportunity. This time he'll take his, but only for one. Molotov needs to be careful, and only 8 HP. That could tickle him to death. And here's a 4 versus 4, but Aurora, they're kind of lucky stars. They've got out of this scrappy connector play in a pretty decent position.
It's a great trade-off from Executor, literally from Narnia, to get one of those kills. And now Aurora kind of stuck in mid, waiting for an opening, right? So a lot of this kind of hinges on Result. I thought he was going to go for a play there, try and get a kill, and then open up the site. Because, of course, they can't be 100% aware of where every single RUSHB player is. Oh, peeking out, dueling against the AWP. This time, Kiro will connect the shot. Unfortunately, pulled out the USPS, and now there you go. Result does, in fact, activate. Only 2 players left alive here for RUSHB. That flash did not really do what he wanted it to do, and now he's the last one left alive. He'll get killed in the murder hole, and it's around in favor of Aurora. A great recovery from them.
A great recovery when there was a very clear sign that it could have been like a 5 versus 2. Like, the AWP missing, Executor only getting 1 hit, missing his lines a little bit. And yeah, Aurora clothesline everybody very nicely. They're playing exactly how I imagined they would be playing here on this second map. It's unfortunate that it's going to probably go to a third. They would have loved to take Ancient, but if we do go to Nuke, Aurora, they've been super consistent, beating Parry Vision and 3D Max so far in this tournament on that very map, and both in very dominant manners. I mean, this is not over just yet, but I think Aurora, they're just playing Mirage exactly how I anticipate. And when we go on that CT side, Deco, he's going to be an absolute monster.
Not quite there just yet. The 1 rifle for RUSHB, holding it down in mid. Instantly flushed out. A nice little bit of util dumping. Just to force a bit of space. This should be a fairly simple round for Aurora, but I do like that they maintain this kind of slower pace. They're continuing to respect RUSHB. I mean, we've seen what they can do with pistols on our previous map, and there you go. the widest swing, the Ferrari peak to get 1. Unfortunately, Kiro can't follow it up with another. Their rifle is still in play. Kinky's going to have to hit some beautiful shots here if they're going to make this salvageable. And there's a world in which he just gets the hell out of Dodge and allows those pistols to try to play for exits. You don't want to lose that rifle unnecessarily. Money becoming a bit of a problem. Now Deco. Oh, that's heartbreaking. The follow-up doesn't come through, so Deco's good for a second. The Zeus, surely not. Okay. Okay. If that had gotten a kill, I would absolutely lost it. But it's a beautiful 3-piece for Deco to close out that round.
I don't know if beautiful's the word, but it definitely is like, it's a nice 3-piece. And it's good that they keep it flawless, right, against the ecos. So
yeah.
Good money being saved up in the bank. No AWP out for Deco. He had an AWP, but he's dropped it. He had an AWP in this round, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, the Zeus's, he was so close to being electrified twice. But probably for his own mental sake, it's good that he didn't. It's really interesting now. RUSHB, They took a low buy. They're going to be going on to the full buy. And I think this is a big round, but if they lose this, we're really going to see that first half slip away from them.
Yeah, we've got a pause to come through, so we'll give that a moment to resolve itself. Again, more than likely a technical issue, but hopefully it gets resolved fairly quickly. And to be fair, we saw a very similar start to Ancient, just obviously on the reverse. So there is a world in which RUSHB bring this back. They have got a bit of cash to burn into this round, but this is kind of a make or break round for this half, right? It's kind of like, funnily enough, it's similar to the last tech pause we had when I asked you, do you think Aurora are going to bring it back? And they were in a pretty similar spot where, depending on how that round went, it would determine a lot of how the rest of it played out. And I think for RUSHB, losing this round is going to put them in a pretty precarious spot. Of course, they do have loss bonus to work with, but seeing how low they are on cash as it is right now, it's still not going to be the best position to be in. So Aurora, as you said a moment ago, looking poised to kind of run away with this first half. RUSHB are going to need a lot more here, and this is their CT side. So to have it be this kind of one-sided, to have it feel like they really just haven't loaded into the server, it's not the best way to start it off.
Ooh, and that's not a great start. Result, he was our player to watch, and he contacts out ramp. Not unable to get the second, and Deco, oh, that was a lumbered trade, but it came in, and it also came in pretty cleanly in regards to he hasn't lost much HP, so that's round over. Like, that's it. Unless something really falls apart here for Aurora. I was going to say Kiro rotating CT would be definitely something that could get dangerous. Executor and Ladder, he spotted 2 players, but both times he's been able to get a frag, and yeah, the round's over, and it's all because Resort and Deco just contact out the A bomb site. It's a really nice change of pace, looking away from their normal defaults, and that's 7-2, and another gun round RUSHB just done.
I mean, over before it even began, really. Like, it fell apart at the seams. And I mean, this is more of what we were expecting on Ancient a little bit earlier on, but Aurora, you know, they've definitely had a moment. They, you know, maybe had a bit of a team chat and pulled themselves towards themselves a bit more. But a noise being made in mid here. Executor will get yet another kill. They're keeping it expensive, which is definitely the most that they could have hoped for in this round. Texty, oh, not going to be allowed to keep that weapon, unfortunately. So they will take one into the next round. They did take a lot of guns away. They will force that reinvest. Aurora not too hampered by that at the moment. You had one player with over $11,000, so it's not a major concern, all things considered. And as we get closer and closer to the end of the half, we're getting to that kind of too little, too late territory. So unfortunately for RUSHB, they needed to be doing stuff like that much earlier on in the half. 2 rounds to go. Nope. Never do maths on stream. 3 rounds to go. And RUSHB in this one, 1 rifle and some pistols to try and make a miracle happen.
Yeah, this is the Deco I know and love. Just farming up them ecos. Ecos? Ecos? Cut him down. Miko? What? Mikos. Well, Deco's not very meek right now. And, yeah, Executor, the only worry was that A1S, and he gets naded after getting a first, so... Nice. Aurora? A bomb site's open. Deco has repositioned towards Palace, and this might catch off Kiro, who's rotated from B, and has also picked up an AK after an opening kill from Executor. Surely he doesn't catch them off guard. Surely not, right? They're all coming. Surely he doesn't get a multi, right?
Oh, God, okay. A little bit of spaghetti there. Some shots ringing through onto Deco. 4 HP, but Deco just that little bit better. And yep, that's going to be a save on the final AK. Yet another round just swinging dominantly in Aurora's favor. This is not looking good for RUSHB. And I mean, it looked like they were trying to take that map control again, right? You had a player all the way out top mid looking to try and gather some space. But by the time he gets anywhere where he can even think doing anything, the entire team is dead. Like, Aurora are so explosive in early onto the site. RUSHB just have no response.
Eight to 2. And Aurora, they've been keeping RUSHB on their feet, changing up the narrative of these rounds, changing up the default. So it's been something that I can't really say RUSHB seemingly are knowing how to deal with it. Gun round the next though, there's always a possibility for an 8-4 half. This kind of 8-2 position is a very... It's like being 2-0 up in football. You feel like you're in a good position, but then RUSHB get 2 rounds here. They get the pistol round. Oh, would you look at that? They're back in the game. It's potentially one of the more dangerous positions to be in because you're starting to believe that you're in the lead and you've already won it, but then it can also slip away from you so quickly and you lose the momentum at the half when it shifts up. But Nori, not known for being an AWP on Aurora, gets killed with his good spawn. Nota's also been tagged down, but Executor, that's a great rebuttal and also just a really great flick from him.
RUSHB had 3 AWPs at the start of this round. Hero died, so that's 1 AWP offline. They have another 2 AWPs. 1 has just gotten kill, but this kind of screams to me of like mental demolition and like everybody's kind of playing for their 1. It's a really, really risky decision to make. I guess it could pay off. When you got 3 AWPs, you have so many sightlines held down, but the trades are so possible at that point. So now they leave one AWP all the way over towards apartments, which could be massive, because if Norway keeps going here, if Norway gets caught out and loses, okay. He's rotating back. He's going through spawn. He's not risking running into an AWP. That is the correct call to make, except unbeknownst to them, yet another AWP lies in wait over on the A side. Executor with the AK will get one.
No.
Norway to follow up. And this is slowly becoming a winnable round for RUSHB.
Well, I think they had to be able to get that kill in ramp, but oh no, Nori just peeks out and falls. Lackey does not anticipate so many players to be here, and that just is it. RUSHB actually had a really good read on this, but it's not over. Result, we've been hyping him up, and he hasn't really been producing anything so far. Knows the AWPer, hears him dropping, finds the frag, cannot connect the first bullet headshot, and Executor with the wide swing gives RUSHB their third round, but it's very close considering there was basically 4 players there for RUSHB.
And unbelievably costly for RUSHB as well. Being willing to invest into 3 AWPs just to try and get a round on the board. That is a desperation cry if ever I've heard one. And they are able to recover the AWP, so they bring that into this round, but it's being complemented by 2 M4s, a FAMAS and an MP9. Not the greatest position to be in, while Aurora are fully kitted out. Absolutely nothing detrimental on their side. Oh god, he turned around! Oh no, Result pulls away the attention. RUSHB go for an aggressive push in towards mid, and Aurora just slowly dismantle them. Hero will be good for 1, but there's so much more to be done in this round. Texi will get yet another, keeping it costly, keeping it contested. But where is the bomb? The bomb is in Narnia. If RUSHB can just keep things under their control a little bit longer, stay alive. But Kenzie is rotated in. Texi cannot win with that FAMAS, and the last player left is Kiro. Down long with the AWP, misses an important shot, and there it is, a 9-3 half for Aurora to take it away. Will they win it out on their map pick? Find out after this break.
After losing map number 1, Aurora, they bounced back pretty dominantly. A 9-3 half on the T side of their map pick. Now onto the CT half. I think it's a matter of time until we get sent to Nuke, our third map. And it's going to be a RUSHB. Well, in the name, here they go. Does it pay dividends? Yes, it does. And that's why they're called RUSHB.
We finally saw it 1.5 maps later, but the B rush does come to fruition. Now Aurora have to try to retake this site with only 3 players left alive. 1 player going on a wild flanking mission through spawn. I'm not sure too much is going to happen there. I think they're just going to try and hold on to that little bit of armor and the kit. Just, you know what? It's fine. You can have this round. We'll come back in the next round. Don't worry about it, guys.
Yeah, this was a one of those rounds where you just kind of forget. And RUSHB, they have now won 3 of the 4 pistol rounds in this series, but after they lost that first pistol round, we saw how difficult it was for them in the rest of the half. And Aurora, we did see them buy up last time they lost the pistol round, and they were on the C side. And because they've got Kenzie and Deco on armor as well, I was going to say, like, I think we do just see a purchase up, and that's exactly what's going to be the case. No head armor for Deco or Kenzie, but it's going to be the scout for Mass, and then MP9, 5.7. There's also a kit on Lackey as well, because he had the kit from the pistol round. So this is actually a pretty decent purchase from Aurora, with actually 2 scouts in the mixture.
Has a lot to play with, yeah, and 2 scouts. I mean, well, it's not exactly 3 AWPs, but you know, it's still pretty exciting in its own right.
It's like the younger brother. 3 AWP's younger brother.
Don't talk to me on my son again, kind of vibes. All right, RUSHB, what is the play here? Realizing that probably there's a level of awareness. They did this exact same thing on Ancient when they lost the first pistol on the CT side. They forced up. And it didn't really work out for them, but now, you know, we're here on Mirage, and RUSHB realize, okay, they're probably going to force up again, but they've looked really, really good. We can't really disrespect them here, so we've got to keep this clean as humanly possible, because Aurora put themselves on a beautiful footing. If they can win out this round, snatch things away, they kind of reset the economy for RUSHB, so it makes things devastating for them. So let's see what the play is. We've got a little bit of presence over towards B, and already some chip damage to come through, but nothing much more than that. Kenzie's got a great elevated position here. Are they expecting it? Spots the head, can't connect the shots.
No.
He's able to slip away with just minuscule amounts of damage, but that would have been so important. Now the A site relatively open, only 2 players that they need to worry about. The rotations are coming in very, very quickly, despite the aim punch. Kinky able to get a beautiful shot off there with the Mac 10, so that's the numbers advantage in favor of RUSHB, and Aurora once again in a retake position. 1 kit on board, so definitely doable, but RUSHB continue to whittle away their numbers. Kenzie still alive. The kid's been lost in Narnia, and Kenzie's probably just gonna have to back away. Yeah, he's not gonna be allowed to, though. So many players left alive for RUSHB. It's exactly what they wanted out of this round.
I'm not even sure when we see the result of that, if that opening kill would have really even mattered for Mass, right? Because nothing really happened anyways. Like, everyone did die. Even Resol, I think, was the player that was close ramp. Like, he gets spotted out. He tries to deny the bomb. There's players holding for him. So when you look at that round, sure, it's rough that that first opening kill was missed, but I'm not even sure if it would have had much of an impact if it did, if it was landed. RUSHB, all of a sudden, they're kind of back into this game. Still 4 rounds down, up against the League. This will be a victory for them. And then you're on 9-6, where you're 3 rounds down, get a gun round, and you have a very clear pathway into how you can close up this scoreline. But not with Molotovs like that.
Well, to be fair, I don't know that there was too much that we... Never mind. Kenzie just, he tells Kinky to sit down, he tells me to sit down, just everybody sit down and shut up. And allow them to work their magic. We'll see how much more they can get done there. Nice little shot to connect. Bomb can't be denied. So RUSHB going to be happy with that extra little bit of cash in their back pockets. And Aurora, well, it looks like they're just going to opt to back out again. I mean, they've got a few pistols that they want to hold on to, plus that MAC-10. Result with the USPS is the only one that really isn't a huge concern, but Executor, understanding, heads them off at the pass, and he's going to look to shut them down. The MAC-10 at range will ring through, followed up swiftly by the Deagle. They're keeping this incredibly expensive for RUSHB, and they're pushing this in for a penny, in for a pound, but unfortunately, the bank is now empty. Well, it was in that round. They'll have cash in the next. Weird how economy works. That metaphor did not go where I wanted it to.
I know all too well how that goes, but I guess the one benefit, or the ironic part is there as well, that RUSHB lose more with the eco than they do against the gun round. But then, that's what I was going to say, like, they don't lose many players in round 14, so they still actually have a really good economy to fall back on, say if they do lose this round. And for RUSHB, just very default smokes being put out on the server right now, trying to bait out mid control. Kenzie's taken loads of damage while trying to get back into connector, and now we see it's going to be probably an end towards B, with Kinky being left in middle. I like this round a lot, especially considering there's no short player, and okay, Result's getting his way over, but he's going to be getting there in the nick of time, ready for this execute. Deco, though, first AWP shot rings out. Result, the rotation proves to be futile. And even though Deco's had a fantastic game so far, there's only so much he can do, and he ends up getting wallbanged. That should be round over. And RUSHB now, all of a sudden, right back into this map.
Definitely showing more signs of what we saw a little bit earlier on Ancient. Starting to get a feel for Aurora and doing a really good job of kind of stamping them out. Some great util to kind of flush and deny the sightlines. Those first opening shots are so important as well. The fact that they crack open that site so easily. They also realize that it's weak side B, which is fairly common. So if you can take advantage of that, if you can overwhelm the two players on B, you have an almost free site. And Aurora are generally somewhat slow to rotate. So they realize if they can get that early control, they're in a really solid position to maintain. And given the fact that, you know, Aurora had forced up a couple rounds back and things have been a little wibbly-wobbly with their economy, they're more likely to want to hold on to their weapons if they are at a disadvantage. So maybe I'm giving RUSHB too much credit, but I feel like that's the kind of thing that should be going through their minds, and it does work out well for them. So they bring the deficit to a meager 2 rounds.
Yeah, I'm just quite scared for Aurora, to be honest, all things considered. Like, you have the AWP out, you have a bad call, but you still get players there on the B bomb site, and you lose the round pretty easily. RUSHB, it's their time to have the AWP out. Kiro was great in map 1. Definitely slowed down a little bit, but now, stepping up would mean difference for RUSHB. And they're going for another slow default, most likely taking mid control a little bit more belated. Kinky, oh, that's such an awkward play. He sees them both fully blinded, but cannot get either of the kills. He died, and now Texie smoked off, can't even do anything. Aurora have 2 players trapped underpass, and the spam good for the first. Will they anticipate a second? I'm honestly not sure. I think Deco, yeah, no, they definitely know he's here now. Okay.
Aurora anticipating that potential rush again towards B, so they throw out a boatload of utility, just confuse and confuddle with that early kill in towards mid. Gives them a lot of room to work with. Now RUSHB still looking to reaggress in towards B. And unfortunately, not a lot of util to work with. Couple of smokes, so that can be useful. And they do have a flash for a pop, but Result... Oh my god, just beautiful positioning, beautiful timing. However, Texley brings it back. 2 kills from him, so at the very least, bomb is going to get planted. And in a round like this, that can make all the difference in the world. And Aurora Gaming's players are so dangerously low on health. A couple of stray bullets is all it would take for RUSHB to wrestle this back and win out this round. And Aurora, they realize that they're not willing to give up these guns. It looks like they may just back out.
What a scrappy beginning to that round. You have 2 versus 2 underpass, and it goes 1 for 1, but it massively favors the Aurora side because it's Nota who dies in middle while trying to help his players. I think it was actually Kenzie who got that kill. So I'm looking at this 4 versus 3. They're going towards the B bomb site because they have nowhere else to go. They have no mid control. They structured their default quite heavily, kind of playing around mid and underpass, and then they don't get any of that space. They're forced to move like rooks towards that B side, and because of Texi, they win it out. Even here, the 4v2, I'm like, oh, that's round over. Never mind. Texi gets three kills at the round, and he almost got a fourth if he'd actually completed that spam on Deco.
Another round that Aurora kind of let slip through their fingers, but RUSHB, we said it right, they are looking good. We can't pin too much of this onto Aurora making mistakes. We've got to give credit where it's due. RUSHB have looked very, very good. Oh, Kenzie, you spotted Executor. Not willing to take that fight, and probably the right call to make. The HE to come through because he realizes that it's probably where that player was. It will do a little bit of that chip damage. All of this util coming through to flush him out and to deny his sights. And finally, the first kill of the round will go through to Result. Norby to follow it up with a second. RUSHB caught out in mid here. Texi's already made his way in over towards the B side, however, but look at where the bomb is. They still have to recover it. They're at a massive player disadvantage. Texi is literally stuck here. He's going to be able to make his way out, but Result knows exactly where he is. Swings through the smoke with the help of the HE, but Texi, he wins those. He gets a second. He's been so powerful with these multi-kills, opening up these sites and giving over so much space. They're now starting to draw these rotations, and if this kill onto Lackey works out in mid, no, Kiro turns away. The opportunity for the rotation absolutely denied, and now they have to commit. The bomb to be denied. The last player will go down. Deco with a 2K to close it out and bring Aurora to double digits.
I don't even know what's going on, but I actually think Texi plays that really poorly. Like, when he gets out of apartments, he actually has the jump on both of those players. But then, okay, sure, he gets both the kills, fine. But he would have been able to get them a lot easier if he'd actually extended himself a little bit further out when he was taking, like, when he first found that space. He didn't realize that no one actually knew he was out of apartments. And then, look, you have Kiro, who's in middle for the whole round. He gets caught off guard by Lackey. He's been completely useless and voided. And then also, Texi misses the timing that Deco took across the door. They didn't realize anybody could be out of market, and Deco springs into action for that double. Aurora, they finally get to double digits. Their first round and a half is a little bit too little too late, or they're going to lean back on their laurels and lean back on the round advantages they had. Oh, they've missed the window smoke. They've smoked it.
Happen.
No, they shouldn't happen. Oh, it's a 10D chess right now. We're playing some 17D chess right now. They missed the window smoke, and they get an opener because of it.
It's these little misplays that mean so much, but Lackey will follow it up, trade it out. And that's the Palace player down, so that's a lot of control taken away from RUSHB. However, they've started to make their way in towards the site. Deco, though, an absolute monster, will shut down the push in from main. Aurora have rotated in. Now there's so little space for RUSHB to play with. They know where so many of these Aurora gaming players are, but they just cannot win these duels. Nori, so snappy, looking in every direction and winning every duel, and now Kiro is going to be forced to have to try to hold on to this AWP.
Yeah, I mean, that's a round where you have a great opening start, and it just, like, it all falls apart. And it does so because Aurora have a really good read. That is just really impressive. They have basically everybody over towards this A bomb site, and they read RUSHB like a textbook. And that play there in middle, I don't even know if it was on purpose. I would assume it wasn't on purpose, and that Kiro, they didn't set Kiro up with an AWP to kill someone window because the smoke missed. But I was playing a pug yesterday, and my teammate calls me. He goes, "Miss your insta window smoke," and I was like, "What are you on about?" And he was like, "We're going to rush A, and you're going to actively miss your insta window smoke. So because of that, the AWP is going to stay in window." And I was like, that's actually a good idea. That's actually not a bad shout. 'Cause, you know, if you smoke window, then the AWP goes con. And I was like, that's actually quite a smart idea. Okay, won the round, won the game. But right now, enough of my pedantics aside. Kiro had he had a hero rifle. There's a weird, like, hero by, I don't know, he had a hero AK, and he's dead, so he's out of the server, and now they're going to be trying to see what they can make work out of B when the AWP is not even with them. It's just the pistols, and oh, shocker, they've all died.
You know, this was shaping up to be a bit of a comeback for RUSHB, but some of these early round mishaps have certainly turned the tides against them once again. Ooh, shot missed. Now they know where he is. Be curious to see if he's allowed to hold on to this AWP. I don't think there's really a world. Nice shot onto Norway through the smoke. But he's being pincered in. He realizes it, gets the second. Go on, who's going to peek him next? Who's going to give him another opportunity to get yet another kill? Lackey holds the line. Oh, the timing on that is absolutely unreal. But Executor, for him, it's not even about trying to clutch the round. It's just about holding on to this weapon and not allowing them to take it away from him. He knows the bomb is lost. There's no chance of that happening. Oh my god, he comes face to face with Deco. Deco does not connect the shot. Executor's forced back out again, and he's just going to run straight into the waiting arms of Result. Not allowed to maintain that AWP. Bit of a wonky end to that one, but it's map point here for Aurora, and they're looking to take us to map 3.
Yeah, okay. I always imagined that Aurora would be winning this, and I did say that I think regardless of Ancient, we're going to be going to a third map. And the only way that a RUSHB could win this is if they do win Ancient. Like, there's no way they're winning Mirage. There was a moment there when it was like 10-8 or whatever, and or like 9-8. I was just like, are we going to Nuke? I was like, is this actually going to be a game won by RUSHB? But Aurora just then play superb Counter-Strike. They make perfect gamble stacks, they make perfect reads, and they shot RUSHB down at every corner. And well, would you look at that? It's the El Clasico. We're Russian B. RUSHB hasn't so far worked though, because even though there's no players immediately on the bomb side, they're getting mowed down from shorts.
And Aurora has read so well into RUSHB's usual playstyle, into the fact that that is what they like to do. So instead of playing that super weak side B, they reinforce it that little bit more. They play off-site and they slowly whittle away players as they move in towards the site. So now, even though the bomb hasn't planted, there is still a 2-player advantage for Aurora Gaming, and RUSHB don't have much to work with. There's one flash, however, with Texley still alive, able to get yet another kill. Kinky gets another just to even out these numbers, and now suddenly Aurora starting to feel the pressure just that little bit. This is going to have to be perfect. The time is ticking away. Caught with Util out. Kinky will follow up with yet one more. Result now knows where the positioning is, does not have time for the defuse, and RUSHB give themselves a stay of execution.
Okay.
I like them apples.
Yeah, So 5 versus 3 for Aurora, and they lose. And wow, that was even the 2 versus 2 was poorly played. Like, you have both players going either side of the bomb site, completely isolating themselves. And Aurora, okay, sure, they're not out of it just yet. They're still having to fight for this win. They're not on Nuke. They mentally might be on Nuke, but physically they're not there, and it's going to be a bit of a fugazi. RUSHB, they're faking out this B bomb site, and then here they come out of Palace, but it's actually dealt with perfectly. And ironically, this fake on B actually does better than the execute itself on A, and pushing the smoke, well, doesn't really work out too well. And Aurora Gaming, they take map 2, sending us to Nuke here in the lower bracket of ESL Challenger League season 47.
What a weird way for that round to play out. Like, I love the aggressive hold, get right up close and personal against the smoke, and wait for the players to push through. But he just doesn't get checked. Like, they're so concerned with the players on site, and like, why would there be a player right up against your smoke? Down ladder? Sure. But all the way on top, right, waiting for you to walk through? Surely not. That doesn't make sense. It's a great call from Aurora, and it's a great way for them to close out that map with a little bit of unexpected play. RUSHB did a really good job of bringing it back. I think if they had a few more rounds in that first half, we might have actually seen that overtime, but unfortunately not to pass. We do also have our Kadia player to watch, which of course was Result at the start of our series. First map he went 12 and 14. This map he went 14 and 14. So definite improvement over the series. And I don't know. Do you think he's still that player to watch, Freddie?
I mean, yeah, like one series would never, or like two maps would never take away, I think, what I've seen from him in over the last couple of years, and especially how he's played on this Aurora roster. I mean, he just kind of got overshadowed by someone like Deco. I think he was 21 and 14. I think he maybe ended a little bit even better than that. He got one of the kills in the final round. Like the AWPer on this map, I mentioned it at the very beginning. I've seen him do some crazy things on Mirage, and he does exactly that. Result wasn't maybe needed, but towards the end, it would have been nice to maybe see him step up. He almost got a 1v2. And so that kind of gave me, I was like, okay, player to watch as a 1v2. But no, Nuke's going to be up next, Sam.
Yes, it is. We're going to take a quick break, folks, and when we return, we'll find out which one of these two teams will ascend further along the bracket and which one will go home. Welcome back, everybody, to ESL Challenger League Season 47 playoffs. And yes, our matchup is going the distance. Freddie, you thought there was a world this might happen. You were absolutely right. Ancient went pretty handedly in favor of RUSHB. It was their map pick, but we headed over onto Mirage, and Aurora just about stamped out the competition. There were sparks of a resurgence, but not to be the case. Now we head over onto Nuke. It is our third and final map. It will determine which one of these teams will continue along their adventure here in playoffs. What are we feeling? How's this one going to go?
I'm feeling like we're going to have a banger. Like, both maps, I think RUSHB have almost looked like the better team. I genuinely, at one stage on that second map, when it was like 9-8, I was like, oh, okay, are we even going to go to Nuke? Because it genuinely seems that even though RUSHB was still around down, they were getting good pace to them. But then, obviously, as you mentioned, Aurora did stamp that out. I did think, as I said at the beginning, and as you just mentioned there, it would go to a third. I just wasn't expecting Ancient to be maybe as one-sided as I anticipated. It was a really good start at the gates, and then Aurora's T-side really let them down with some very pivotal mistakes, with some very easy mistakes that I didn't think they'd be making. So as we go on to Nuke now, this is a really exciting decider, because we've got a map where this is not the map pick of Aurora necessarily. It actually gets picked up against them. They do pretty well on it. They did lose 5 in a row last month to like MIBR, Saw, Parivision, BetBoom, Koi, but those are some pretty decent teams to be losing to. And in recent time, they've in this tournament 13-1 3D Max, did lose a series, but also beat Parivision 13-6, and RUSHB also have some pretty good results. So I think it's going to be an absolute bloodbath of the third map.
Yeah, I mean, I saw RUSHB. They've recently beaten out 2 prominent academy teams, both Mouse Next and Ents Academy on this map. They didn't have the best results against Koi and Para, however, and so you really start to look at kind of the caliber of team that these teams are playing up against. So while RUSHB do have statistically the better success on the map, you look at the teams that they've been playing up against, and sure, there's some really good teams in there, but it's not quite the same caliber that we've seen Aurora going up against pretty frequently, which, you know, obviously would kind of skew their data a little bit. So it's really tough to call, but I always say, and I think this is fairly obvious, but when a map gets floated by both teams, it's one that they're both somewhat confident on, not confident enough to actually pick, not feeling so nervous on that they feel that they have to ban it outright. But yeah, you know, we could dip our toes there and see how it goes. So hopefully we get a nice, another nice close map here between these two teams. I'm looking forward to seeing how that one goes. And of course, a lot of it might come down to who's going to win out on that knife round. Who is going to get to start on that coveted CT side of Nuke? Funny enough, in some of the ESL Impact games recently, we saw so many strong T sides that had everybody kind of like scratching their heads, going, "Okay, is this Nuke T sided now? Nothing's changed." So who knows? Maybe we'll get some surprises from our teams.
Yeah, we've got this kind of like weird T-side meta where even the maps such as Nuke haven't been really as CT-sided as previous, and I have seen a lot of times recently where like on a CT side you don't see the utmost of dominance, but they still win out the game because they have a good T-side, and I think that's legitimately becoming somewhat of a real theme. But as we go look at individuals, like Deco really stepped up with a 1.68 HLTV rating. He was phenomenal. He had a great second map. I think that's really impressive considering that he wasn't really as active on map 1. Like on map 1 he was close to the bottom, so a great resurgence from him. And Result, who we were saying was only 14 and 14 but was up there, he was the closest player to Deco, and our Kadia player to watch. I'm really excited to see how he does here. As I mentioned, he's had a great series, he's had a great tournament, and he's had a great time on Aurora. He was very crucial in their games against Parivision and also against the 3D Max side. But yeah, I do think starting on the CT side will be important because I'm pretty sure Parivision also picked it into them. I'll double check that, but 100% against 3D Max, they started on the CT side. And actually, no, against Parivision, they had a 10-2 half on the T side. So if I'm, looking at, if I'm RUSHB and I'm looking at Aurora, I'm like, okay, they dominate a 13-1 win on their CT side, and they dominate a 10-2 half on their T side. So where are we even putting this? You said that they're not always too confident picking into it. Well, Aurora, they picked into it against Parivision because Mirage got picked into them. Parivision actually won that, so kind of almost alarming sometimes when you did come into this series, like, oh, would they still win Mirage? I was pretty confident they would. And now it's really exciting on Nuke. I think the individuals I'd want to be seeing from the other side that I didn't really necessarily see on map 2. Well, Texi was the surprise for me because he came out of nowhere and started getting multi-frags to open up that B bomb site all the time.
Yeah, I mean, there was some phenomenal, like, multi-kill rounds from him that really kind of made these linchpin moments so impactful. We saw similar from Aurora, a couple of the players on Aurora on Ancient. Even though they lost that map, we still had some very impactful plays. So it's great to see that both teams have those players that can step up in those important moments, get those key pivotal picks, and then try to turn things back around in their favor. But here it is, folks, heading on to our third map of the series, last map of the day, and this will determine which one of these two teams can continue along in the bracket and which one will unfortunately be sent back to well, not relegation. Thankfully, they have confirmed themselves a spot in season 48, but ideally you want to make sure that you can continue along here and get a good footing going forward. So we'll kick things off here with Aurora clearly having won the knife and starting things out on the CT side.
Could be dangerous for RUSHB. And this pistol round, ooh, not a great start. They've been really good at getting these pistol round wins, RUSHB. That's been a big part of the success. But here, everybody's being chopped down. Look at the dual Berettas. Look at the aggression. Look at that conviction. Now with 2 players remaining, they have no idea where to go. They're stampeding around. There's no point hiding their footsteps. Everybody knows where they are. Result gets one before he falls. And Aurora, a very clean pistol round and a great start here on our third map.
Aurora currently 2 for 3 on pistol rounds, or 2 for 5, however you want to say this. That they've been 5, they've won 2 of them. There you go. So this time around, they're not going to have to do that weird force up that we'd seen from them previously. That did not work out twice, might I add. Instead, having won this round, having denied the bomb plant entirely, they get a good round or a good buy out of this. And RUSHB, on the other hand, well, not much to write home about.
Yeah, they didn't really, not really much happened in that first round, and Deco, I highlighted him. That's a nice triple spray down, and guess what? He has perfect support from Kenzie, so nobody dies. It's flawless for Aurora and RUSHB. Maybe that pistol round would have been quite important, as we have seen them rely on it a little bit. But Sam, taking a look at some of the other games in the bracket, Koi, they've made Pro League. Koi beat out Sinners in the upper finals. They're in the grand final. It's whoever's in the grand final will get a Pro League spot. So Sinners will have one more opportunity in the Constellation final, and they'll be playing off either, well, basically the 3D Max Sangal or our winner will play each other in the lower final. That or other games also in a third map, and then they'll play Sinners. They beat Sinners, they play against Koi, but they've already got the Pro League spot.
Well, there you go. Huge congratulations to them. A great feather in the cap as well, so they'll be feeling pretty darn good about that one. We'll see if one of our two teams will be able to join them. Let's face it, it's going to be quite a tall ask. There's some very strong teams that they need to battle through to get there, including, of course, SIS, who now wait in the lower bracket final. Oh, there we go. Great way to crack open that round. Beautiful shot, aggressive positioning, and followed up by Deco with a second as well. But look at where the bomb is. I mean, it's already made its way down towards that B site, or making its way. No, it's making its way around. It's a loop-de-loop. They're trying to draw the rotations down. Quite decided what they want to do just yet. The Molotovs come through. No, don't tell me you're gonna... Woo, if he'd lost it there. If the bomb had been lost at the top of the stairs, although I suppose that would have been round over. I didn't realize that teammate had also been killed down towards B as well. So now it's down to a 1 versus 3 clutch. Not to happen. Aurora in control from start to finish.
Yeah, RUSHB maybe overcooked that round a little bit too much. Aurora also do just have great rotations, getting aggressive outside, getting aggressive down towards the B bomb site. Like, everybody's here. Deco goes 1 for 1, but also gets a dink off, and then you have a second player down on B with him. Everybody for Aurora does their job there, and the first gun round going in their favor. RUSHB, they're playing up against monoliths from their region, so kind of a bit of a derby in a sense, but Aurora looking quite clean here on this third map. RUSHB, they are good on Nuke, but I think there may just be a little bit of a difference between the caliber as well. You know, like RUSHB play against teams like Malzahn. Actually, Malzahn is a bad example because they are fantastic. They are best team in Europe. Kind of like some, you know, they're playing against Ent Academy. They're playing against like System 5. And then you compare it, Aurora, they've been getting wins, and when they lose, it's against the best teams in the world. So I think the quality of gameplay from Aurora should be shining through on this third map.
A little bit of a pause to come through here once again, folks, so please do just bear with us. We'll jump straight back in as soon as possible. Now with RUSHB back down onto pistols. It's like a bit rough so far, and I know it's still very early in the round. You never want to kind of count your chickens when it's only round 4, but it is their T-half, and we need them to pick up, I would say, minimum 3 rounds, right? Like 4, you're feeling a little bit more comfortable, but at absolute minimum, you want to get 3 rounds, and then, you know, then you can activate Nari's curse, you know? I'm doing everything in my power to make that a thing. So the potential swing comeback is much more doable at that point. Like 8-4 on any map on any side is doable, but on this map you need that little more wiggle room. So we need to see them kind of get a bit more going here. And with all of the Tech 9s that have just come out, I'm feeling a rush, and I'm hoping it's gonna be B just for the memes, but I think it's more likely to be A.
Oh, that's a good opener. They try to send a player down vent, or maybe just get some contact, maybe try to survive, not allow players to be outside in this manner. And Aurora Gaming, this is perfect from Kenzie as well. The flashbang actually aids him a little bit because it forces him to bide his time. And with bated breath, he only gets 2 more. So only 3 in the round. Will be a bit of damage, but yeah, Kiro's not going to anticipate result that close. The AK gets retrieved, and Aurora go into the next round, maybe even a little bit happy they lost a player, because that means they can get the AWP out.
Yay! The little things, right? Be glad to see that. Yeah, I mean, that vent pop just got absolutely deleted. They were actually angling towards B for half a second, but... They
were going down, and they had a vent. Like, they were trying to go B. It's kind of the operative word.
Yeah. The attempt, unfortunately, failed. But now they have guns in their hands. Now there's a better opportunity. But, of course, losing this round, you know, you start that cycle all over again. And they need to get a footing in the door, particularly because Aurora have won so many of these rounds so cleanly. They have more money than they really know what to do with here. And they love getting aggressive. Resol, cheeky little push there to get 2. And Kenzie will follow it up with a 3rd. And so now with only 2 players. Nope, 1 player. Executor, bomb's lost. He'd been on the lurk. He's been on the flanking mission, but his entire team has fallen to the wayside, and he's left to just try and hold on to this gun.
Oh, it's a rough round from Nori, though. He gets fully blinded, regains vision, goes to kill someone, Result kills him, and then gets killed by the second player. Nori's just there like, dudes, come on, can I get something? But speaking of Result, thank the Lord he was there, because his double is massive. That could have got really dangerous, and yeah, you see Nori just can't catch a break. But Result getting 2, and then having support from Kenzie, if they hadn't got that multi-frag, then I think Aurora probably could have lost that round because the A bomb site would have been opened, but that wasn't the case. So really well played from Result. And Nori's on a P90. I said he was annoyed, but I didn't know it'd be this much of a rage buy. Oh, he's going for it. Here they come. Ecos. Where are the Ecos?
No, lordy. I mean, we saw an interesting 3-AWP rage buy, so, you know, these things happen. What are these swings, man? RUSHB's Ferrari peaks have been untouchable, but Result on the elevated position on the silo just cannot be dealt with unsuspected. And now Nota, I mean, found an AK, but what more can you possibly do here? The entirety of Aurora are now closing in on you. They have a pretty damn good idea of what your position is. Nori with a little bit of a pre-fire, and there you go. It does, in fact, collect a kill.
Is this a T side or a CT side? There's 4 AKs for Aurora, and it might actually just be AWP 4 AKs. No AWP out for Deco at all. That's actually... Okay, no, there it... Wait, what? They bought... What's going... Is there an A1S on the floor? I think there's an A1S on the floor somewhere. I saw an A1S being bought, and then I think Kenzie threw it away, so I don't know if it can be sold again. But regardless, who's on the T side? Am I right?
Yeah, well... I mean, now we have a lot of AKs all across the board, so... Now it's just even more confusing, and especially if, like, RUSHB get themselves into a post plant. But let's be real. In what universe have they been able to do that? I don't think they've even had a single plant yet. That's the really yeah, I mean, that's the really devastating stat here. Like, they are just getting shut out at every turn. What is that, bro? Okay, he can't follow it up with another one because that would have been absurd. He will get traded out, and somebody from RUSHB have made it onto a bomb site, but look at where the bomb is. Again, I think they're trying to pull rotations. Kinky's just gonna get deleted. Now it's completely evident that there's literally no one there. The bomb is still towards their spawn. They haven't made any sort of ingress yet. This half has been very strange.
When I see a play like this, I'm kind of imagining that RUSHB were trying to maybe go 2 ramp, 3 down B, but then they don't even go ramp at all. Like, they put no pressure there, and it allows for 2 players to be down on that B bomb site with no real scare. And Deco, I just love how he misses the easy shot. I feel like that shot on Kinky was probably the easiest one of the 3 attempts he had. At the no scope, you can just tell how confident Aurora are. They're 7-0 up. They've not really had to bat an eyelid. Like, Result has 15k. They have 3 AKs, 4 AKs, and Deco's even gone for an M4 this time. Like, he's actually actively chosen to buy that M4 over the AWP, and it's maybe because they want to get a little bit more aggressive. RUSHB, they're not killing, they're not fragging. We're going into round 8, and their team have a combination of 7 frags, and it's been 7 rounds. It's a killer round. That's not a great stat. If that's a stat for an individual, phenomenal. But as a team, not great.
Just a quick update for those of you who are interested over on our C stream where we have Sangal versus 3D Max. They're currently on map 3 as well. It is Anubis, and Sangal are currently up 4-0. So yeah, the Sangal fans, rejoice. The 3D Max fans, you might want to get in there. They may just need your support because that's 4 rounds on their CT side on Anubis, which is
you've got Madja. Like, Madja sees that and he's like, who do I support? French and Turks. Like, such a bizarre mix, and he's stuck in between both of them.
Okay, now we have full Tech 9s, all right? Previously, we only had 3, and I think that was the... you see... Oh, okay, there you go, there you go. Full Tech 9s, right? Only 3 was
this
the problem.
This is 7D chess. 7D chess. Break it with a Glock to bait out the fact that you don't have a Tech 9. Which I think is probably not the best. Like, obviously they have Tech 9s, right?
Yeah. Let's see if it actually does, you know, get anything done. A little bit of posturing once again over towards this A site. They've grouped up quite heavily. And here the util will start to come through, the flush to come out. A great position for Result. He will get taken out. Oh my god. Just every angle is shut down. 2 kills to come. 3 kills, in fact. Here, what is happening? The Tech 9 rush reigns supreme. Deco now 1 versus 1. And this is so doable if Executor can swing the way we know he can. Perhaps he can make it happen. The HE to do a little bit of damage. Runs out of bullets. And now Deco has to retreat. How much more can Executor get done? Yeah, he's going to push it. He's going for it. He knows Deco doesn't have the time. And if he can just keep up the pressure, it's doable. But look at this. Look at this rotation all the way around. Executor, he doesn't even care. He's popped down the vent. He's made it over the way, all the way down to B. This might be the first round that RUSHB get a bomb planted. And yes, they will do it. 8 rounds in, but they do get a bomb planted. Now Executor has to clutch the round. The flash to come out forces him away. Deco's not pushing it. He's waiting to see if there's a peek. It's a good retreat from Executor. You said 7D chess. It really does feel like that's what's happening here. And Deco doesn't have a kit. So Executor just has to play down the time. He peeks, he swings, and he gets the kill. And a round on the board for RUSHB at last.
Man, I feel so bad for Nori. It's just, bro can't catch a break. I started laughing mid-round because, like, I don't know if we can get a specific replay. So look at it. Look where he is. He's top hut. Result puts a player low. Nori gets both his kills stolen again and then gets killed in the side of their head. Nori has been in positions to frag and they literally get stolen from him every single time. The issue was, this time it resulted in a round loss. Maybe a bit of overconfidence from Aurora. RUSHB on the board. Is this going to be a flash in the pan or can we see a little bit more consistency out from them?
I mean, we need to. Only 1 round on board. Not the best start.
Yikes.
Can see that's actually just not okay, man. The smoke spray to get the first kill. Knows there's a player up high. So can call that across. Beautiful flick from Lackey. And he was actually looking towards the elevated position. He was looking to see if he could catch that player. Instead, he catches a stray. And RUSHB already down to 3 players. The round has barely begun. And Aurora have just whittled them away. Deco being absolutely cheeky. Lackey with yet another from the exact same position. This is cyberbullying. That's what this is.
Cyberbullying. This is genuinely just mean. This is just unfair. This is just brutality. They lose a Tech 9 round. And they instantly have a flawless round on the back of it. A1S is dueling AWPs, and they may have lost all their AKs in the previous, but now they're able to pick them back up. And Deco on the AWP was confused why we didn't really see him on it, and like he actively was choosing to buy an M4, and he picks it up there. He can still get aggressive with it, and he shows us why he's the AWP. 8-1, Aurora send RUSHB straight back to the Tech 9s.
I mean, the Tech 9s worked before. Maybe they can make it happen again. The pop straight through. Jesus, Nori. It's just unfair.
He got a kill. He did it.
He got 2 of them.
He did it.
Off the back of a beautiful flash, I might add. The entirety of RUSHB is blinded. Okay, okay, Texty. Bro, how is he always good for 2?
It's his first kills. These are his first 3 kills of the game. I was literally about to comment on the fact that he was so good on Mirage and hasn't been doing anything on this T side. He was specifically and exclusively good on the T side of Mirage. And right here, you know what? It's 3 kills, but it does not matter. And Nori, that must be the most, like, that is some of the most, this is some of the most relatable Counter-Strike I've ever watched at a pro level. Like, bro's trying his hardest and keeps on getting kills stolen away. And that must be such a deep sigh of relief. Like, I finally got a frag. I finally got kills.
We did it, chat. We got him. That's rough, all things considered. And off the back of that, to unfortunately still not make headway in the round. 2 rounds left here in the half. RUSHB need both of them. They need at least those 2 rounds to have a fighting chance in the next half. Deco holding that elevated position. He knows there's often someone there. The nades just to chip away slowly but surely, deny any sort of a peek. But they do the same things every round. We've seen no real dynamism from them, no real changes in their approach. And Aurora have kept reading them like a book. This time around, we see a bit more of a slower pace. And Executor somehow good for a second there. The first is brilliant. The second is a little egregious from Aurora. But for the first time, well, one of the first times, we actually see RUSHB get an early round advantage.
Is this going to be something they can actually build upon, though? Oh,
my
resold! No, almost gets the third. That would have been pure and utter insanity. Still, though, from a 5 versus 3 to now a 2 versus 3, Result has done his job. Deco with the auto sniper. Oh my god, I love this. It's transcended into absolute chaos right now. Deco he's clearing so many angles, and Aurora have the read that it could be the A-bomb sites, and I feel like it has to be towards the A-bomb site, right? Like, I'd be shocked if these 3 players don't go here, especially with Kinky and Main, but Kinky, he might get the information that both players are here. Nope, he's only going to get the information for one now. 10 seconds. They have to go in now. There has to be that commit. The auto sniper still not aware. The auto sniper, it's got 2. The auto sniper gets 3. Deco doing the old school get right moves, and it puts Aurora on double digits.
I was so close to saying a naughty word. Not allowed on broadcast, man. There's just no way that he gets 3 there. It's absolutely unreal. What a clutch from him to bring that round home again. Last round in the half here for RUSHB. They desperately needed that previous one. And now more than ever, it becomes so important to just get something on the board. Bearing in mind, the only round they have right now is A, the only round they've actually managed to plant in, and B, it was off the back of a Tech 9 rush. They have not managed to win a rifle round. Now, once again, we're in a round where they get the opening kill, but we've seen how quickly those rounds can still slip away from the Executor. He's managed to slip into position, yeah, but he gets caught out above the smoke. Result will fire in on him, and instantly the numbers are back down to an even kilter.
What is it with Aurora on this map all of a sudden? They come back from Mongolia, and they've had a 11-1 half on their CT side against 3D Max. They've had a 10-2 half against Paravision on their T half. And now they're looking to get another 11-1 half on the CT side. They're looking to eliminate RUSHB. They're looking to progress and play either Sangal or 3D Max. But in the meantime, Nori does fall. He's had a very rough game. And Deco, with no sniper, with the AK, gets put to the grave. Result does get one, spots out another, and there's a big interaction. Look at lower bomb site. Look at Lackey, caught off guard. They know where Result is, and they can now set their sights towards B.
All right, we've seen this play out before. We've seen this pivot towards B in the late round working out beautifully, but we've also seen 1v3 miracles from Aurora. How much can Result get done here? Full HP, an AK, and a kit. Denies the bomb plant and slips away. 1 versus 2. A little bit. There's no time. There's no time! Okay, oh my god. Bro, I was hard panicking. I was like, there's got to be somebody that's put the plant down. And yes, in the last moment, they will finally secure a second round in this half. 10-2. We'll see you after the break.
The second time in 2 days that Aurora Gaming have won a 10-2 half on this very map. They did one better against 3D Max 2 days ago and won 11-1. I kind of anticipated how it was going to go, but I didn't really think it would be that much BM with auto snipers from Deco, and now on the T side, they're going to be popping to... Ooh, they're going to be going ramp now that they've heard that player jump on top hut. That's exactly what's going to happen.
Well, Texie is holding this angle, so we'll see if he can collect a kill here. Not quite finding the mark, and unfortunately, he's going to be forced to back away. The ramp play will come through incredibly quickly. B site free and clear. Easiest bomb plant of their lives. Although, we do have reinforcements making their way in here. If they take too long, they might get stalled out at the very least. A great snappy shot from Executor there. But they aren't able to stop the bomb from going down, and they must realize pushing this is going to be incredibly dangerous. Flash to come through. The follow-up is great from Nori. Gets another kill for himself. Kenzie to follow up with one of his own. 3 versus 3. RUSHB has to make their way in towards the site here. They do have a kit on board, so it is doable. The smoke play as well to deny the sight lines. And how many times haven't we seen this work out perfectly? Kenzie tries to get those kills, but cannot stop the defuse.
Sorry, what a shot from Kenzie. That was like, it was a 3 versus 1, and he has a good punt at that. That was a fantastic shot on the, I think it was on Texie, who was coming from, oh no, it was Kiro coming from ramp. Flicks up onto a headshot. I mean, very sharp shooting, but unfortunately everybody else dies around him, so even though he gets 3 kills, the bomb still gets defused. RUSHB, they win the second pistol round in the series on of the map. On Mirage, we saw them kind of float themselves back into the map because of the pistol round win. Are we going to see that replicated here as Aurora force buy with the bomb down, and Kenzie also has an AK?
A lot of firepower here to work with. HEs to clear the smokes to do some damage. Quite a bit of chip damage done as well, but Nori, good lord, man. Beautiful shot there with the deagle. That's going to give them that player advantage. And this is, I mean, it's their MO, right? Force up after losing the pistol. Hope to God it works. It hasn't worked before. Maybe this time. Oh, these shots are so clean. He didn't even need to use a freaking deagle there, but he will. Just for the BM. Oh, caught crouching, swinging around. Not even swinging. Just like turtling through a choke point. Kiro's the last one left. And I mean, what is there to do? What is there to say? So quickly, Aurora has snatched back the control here. The best that Kiro can hope for is a bit of damage. He doesn't have a kit, so it's literally impossible. Just, even without considering the fact that he's in Narnia. Nothing to be done but to hold on to the FAMAS and pray that you can do something in the next round.
Pray is going to be the name of the game, but if they lose, I mean, like, RUSHB, I mean, I think this is actually worst case scenario. The fact that they win pistol and then lose the second, they're going to have awful money when Aurora have really good money. And as we go into potentially the penultimate round of the game, look, we got an A1S on Kiro, and then we got 5.7s, P250s, MP9s. This is a really poor buy where they don't even have head armor. So as there's only 1 AK on the board actually for Aurora, it's going to be these Glils and FAMASs having so much more damage because of the Kevlar. And RUSHB, I think this is game over. They know it. And I think especially with those 2 kills, this is pretty much done and dusted for me in my books.
Not too much more to be said and done here. It's a bit heartbreaking when you consider how the first map went, how much they managed to get done. But unfortunately, it looks like this could be the end of the line for RUSHB. There's still a little bit to work with here. They are at a player disadvantage. They're trying to keep it competitive. Texie's the last one left alive, and unfortunately, having lost that rifle, not going to be able to save that into the next round. There's really nothing more to be said or done in this. We'll be heading over onto match and series point, and of course money is going to be a massive issue for RUSHB, and I don't see a way back into this one.
I think this is it. I think this is game over. I think Aurora, they'll be progressing forward. It's again another So it's a lot of games to be playing. You've got Sangal 9-1 up on their third map as well, so very similar things going on with the dominance. They're going to have the lower final, where if Aurora can close out the final round, they'll play against, most likely right now, Sangal. And then they have, so the lower final, they play Sangal most likely. And then they have Sinners, and then they'll be playing, oh my god, there's a kit. Oh my god, there's a kit. Oh my god, Sam, there's a kit. Oh my god, Sam, there's a kit. Oh my god, there's smoke.
There's no
oh my
way.
god,
There's
oh
no
my god,
way.
oh my
There's
god,
no
oh
way.
my god.
There's
no
no
way.
way. There's no my god. Oh my god.
1 versus 3. I haven't seen a ninja defuse in a very long time, but I guess that wasn't the penultimate round.
I love how we had all just kind of decided that it was over. We were like getting ready to talk about how the bracket's shaping up. You were already talking about how the bracket was shaping up. My god, what a ridiculous way to bring it back. And like even Aurora were like, nah, it's done. It's done, guys. It's cool. We're fine. We're over. Oh my. They're not making that mistake again. There is no way that they make that mistake a second time. We'd all counted them out. And the sneakiest little ninja comes through and defuses that bomb. And now, well, I suppose there's a little bit of confidence resurgence after that. Executor with a great opening pick there. Sure, he almost loses his life to a Molotov, but he lives. He gets his, and you know, honestly, that's the important part, right? He got his.
He got his. Ooh, FAMAS picked up. He's like, that's not an AK. Why have they got a FAMAS? They lost the last round. Oh, they saved. Okay. Surely this isn't gonna mount up to anything, right? Surely it's only a singular ninja defuse that won't just cripple your mentality and allow RUSHB to make a 9-round in a row comeback to close it out in regulation. Surely that's not the case, right?
Yeah, no, never.
Right. Hey, the Aurora Gaming admin on Twitter does curse them sometimes. I hope he hasn't prepared the tweet already, because he might have just cursed them. It's a player advantage and the small step in the right direction, but Aurora have really good space, and they actually got a free way towards ramp and now down towards the B bomb site. Texi, the hero of the previous, eliminated. Kinky spotted out going into control, somehow gets one. And he can't connect onto a second. It's very impressive that he even gets a single kill there. But will it be enough? Wait, Deku doesn't plant the bomb. He gets off of it. This is now really scary because they're starting to push. They're going to see if they can deny the plant. But oh my god, we're playing 40 chess. He gets off the bomb, starts planting at 8 seconds, and they're like, let's go and deny the bomb. And then they're ready to snap and kill them. 7D chess.
I was about to say, like, you know, it's not quite 7D chess, is it? And then you said 7D chess. So, okay, I guess it is 7D chess.
This is some big brains in the server right now.
Here's where things get really upsetting. Look at RUSHB's economy, or lack thereof. Pistol round. And that is potentially how their tournament lives end here. Not with a bang, but with a whimper. As Kenzie will get the first opening shot off. Crack this open. There you go. Yet another 2 more pins will fall. Only 2 remaining to make this a strike for Aurora Games. Yes, RUSHB will get 1, but that's all they're going to be able to do. It's a 13-4 on our decider map of Nuke, and it is Aurora Gaming who will be going on in the playoffs bracket. A grueling series, but hey, they won.
Okay, well, Kenyan Result, I didn't curse them. 22 and 21 kills respectively. Result, he was our Kadia player to watch, and he didn't necessarily step up in the first 2 maps. And you said, is he still someone that we should be watching? Well, after going 21 and 6, I think most certainly yes. Over a 3 KD, over 120 ADR. He's had a phenomenal performance on Nuke. He was great at anchoring A, and on that T-side was a big part of why they're able to win. RUSHB eliminated, but they've had a very successful progression from 2 seasons ago of ESEA Advanced. They were making it... They made a lower bracket run, winning, I think it was 6 or 7 in a row in the lower bracket to make it to ESL Challenger. And then they go from that to having, like, you know, a middling season. They re-keep themselves. They kind of assess the situation. Oh wait, no, this is actually their first This is their first season because of how ESL Challenger works.
Yeah.
This is their first season. Even though they qualified in December of last year, this is the end of their first season, and they've made a very respectable, top 6 placement?
Yeah, I mean, this is ridiculous when you consider it's very seldom that we see a team make it through open qualifiers, fight their way through the ESEA system, get themselves into Challenger League, and then make it all the way to playoffs. Like, that is just about unheard of. So incredibly impressive run from them. And I really hope, you were saying a little bit earlier about a flash in the pan. They had a round where it was so great and we were waiting to see if there would be a follow-up. And I'm kind of hoping that that was the flash in the pan. But I really hope that their, careers here in Challenger League are not a flash in the pan. I want to see them. Of course, now they'll get to retain their spot. They won't get relegated and have to fight through relegation like so many other teams. They will be back next season, so that at the very least they have that confirmed for them. But hopefully we'll get to see a lot more of them in the future. They far outperformed my expectations. So I look forward to seeing more of that. But again, GG's to Aurora for coming out on top of that one. It was a very slow start to the series. Very bumpy, very rocky on that ancient map. And maybe we don't see them on that map as much in the future. But we headed on to Mirage. They looked far more in control. Yes, it was a lot more of a close affair than maybe they would have wanted. We saw the sparks of a resurgence coming through. But they stamped it out. And the confidence boost, coupled with the fact that apparently Nuke is just their map, they come through on this one. And yeah, okay, a slight misplay there with the Ninja Diffuse, but aside from that, a very dominant performance from them. And now we'll get to hear from them themselves, as we do have an interview for all of you. So welcome, Result, our Kadia player to watch, in fact. Congratulations on a well-deserved win. Now, I want to ask you, you are quite new to this team, so how have you found fitting in with everyone? How's that been going?
Oh, good. My team is vibing. We are just love all game, running all them up, and kill.
Yeah, I mean, we could see as well, Deco buying the auto sniper. I can see you guys are having a bit of fun with that.
I drove to him, what the fuck? It's my car. It's my skin, I drove to him. You should play with that gun. Of course he play, he respect me. He respect my gun.
Oh, that's fantastic. And he did well. He got 3 kills with it as well. But I want to ask... Yeah. What's going on with Nuke? Because you guys seem to be amazing on this map in this tournament. How come you're doing so well on it?
For sure, I don't know, but Nor is out calling team. That's all. He just calling versus all teams, and we just destroy. I don't know, but maybe other day we attack on this map. I don't know how it works.
So I'm curious, what were the comms like during that Ninja Diffuse?
Just never mind. Next round they have all money. Let's go win. That's all.
Awesome.
Awesome. And just finally, what are your expectations for this tournament, and how important would it for you to make it to ESL Pro League?
I don't know, but if we win, if we got second place, at least it's good for us. We qualify ESL Pro League. If you qualify, it's good. If you not qualify, it's bad.
I mean, short and sweet, that's pretty much it, right? If we don't qualify, it's bad. If we do well, it's good. So, Result, thank you so much for joining us, and really well done. You played amazing in that final map, so I hope you can go relax and prepare for the next games and Jongnaping next week. So, have a lovely rest of your evening. Thank you, man.
Guys. Bye-bye.
Awesome. That was so funny, of just it's my skin, I dropped him the scar, I told him to do it.
And he respects me, so he did it. I like that. I like that. You know what he said? It's all vibes. It's all fun. They're feeling it. They're feeling themselves, and they're feeling pretty damn good. So, of course, they'll be heading on in the playoffs bracket. But, of course, playoffs is not over, folks. So make sure to join us again next time as we finish out the playoffs bracket and determine who exactly will be going to the Pro League, who we'll have to just see next season in Challenger League. Thank you so much for joining us. From myself, Nauri, and from Freddie or Grimmy Rana, thank you so much. Have a wonderful evening, and we'll see you all soon.